DK has been targeted 21% more often on a per route basis when the Titans face cover 4, which the 49ers deploy at the 4th highest rate. He's only 4,300 this week. There are a variety of viable punt options on DraftKings this week, but DK is easily my favorite when you're looking at wide receivers sub 4,500.
And then last but not least, back to that Lions-Rams game. You know, these Ram tight ends, man, they've got like 17 good ones. I know Higbee's currently hurt. I think Ferguson looks good, like a nice prospect, but they also went ahead and acquired Colby Parkinson last year, and he's looking pretty good lately, and you like him at 3,200. That's a tougher matchup, so I'm curious to hear your angle on Parkinson up against Detroit.
Yeah, it is a tougher matchup, but since week 10, Parkinson leads all tight ends in red zone targets. He has 10. That's 2 more than the next closest tight end, and while also ranking 8th in fantasy points per game. He's priced as just the tight end 20. He's only 3,200 this week on a slate where Los Angeles has a massive 30.5 point implied team total. And so when you add up that the red zone volume that he's been earning, plus the implied team total, you get really great touchdown upside for a guy who's only 3,200. And when you're playing a tight end that cheap, you only need him to fall into the end zone once to hit value.
There it is, Jake Tribby, the recos for Week 15 on the X machine at Jake Tribby. Thanks a lot for the information, Jake. Good luck with all the plays. Happy holidays as well, and we'll catch up with you next week for Week 16, second week of the fantasy football playoffs. And while we do have a moment, we have the final segment, which is forthcoming, where I will pop out 10 plays, including a best bet. We are 10-4 on the best bets, but I do have some touchdown props I'm going to throw out. It's not National Tight End Week, but once again, I like the tight ends. So let's take a look at those. And I'll start with Mark Andrews. We all know babies being born this month know that the Bengals are the matchup for tight ends. So Mark Andrews, anytime touchdown at plus 150. It's actually a slightly better schematic matchup for Isaiah Likely, which we'll get to on the other side. Spoiler alert. But I still think Mandrews can get a tutty here at plus 150. Next, we'll go Dalton Kincaid. Anytime touchdown at plus 270. Good schematic matchup against cover 1 and cover 3, which they run 50% of the time. He's at 3.31 yards per route run. New England gives up the 6th most receptions per game to tight ends, the 11th most receiving yards per game to tight ends. Dawson Knox is hurt. Kincaid is off the injury report, and he erupted for 6 catches for 108 against New England in early October. Next up, got to get a love to Harold Fannin Jr. Chicago gives up the 12th most receiving yards, 7th most receptions to the position. Good schematic as well. Fannin averages a strong 1.97 yards per route run against cover 3 and cover 2, which they use 52% of the time. Chicago also gives up the 2nd most schedule adjusted fantasy points per game to the slot the last 5 weeks, and Fannin runs about 44% of his routes from the slot. So I'm feeling good here about Harold Fannin, especially if David Njoku cannot play. And then last but not least, how about, and yes, I am into the propaganda known as McCarthyism, JJ McCarthyism, that is. JJ McCarthy, anytime touchdown. He's got 2 on the season at plus 425. The Cowboys give up the 2nd most schedule-adjusted fantasy points per game to quarterbacks over the last 5 weeks in the running game only. So JJ, I do believe, is going to take off and run when they're in tight this week on Sunday Night Football. My official picks for Week 15 coming at you next on a Friday edition of Prop Points right here on VSiN.
Before the line moves, the Sharp Plays is already there. They don't just follow the market, they help move it. You're not going to outsmart billion-dollar sports books or full-time sharps on your own, but with the Sharp Plays, you don't have to. Powered by advanced AI and insider sources across the NFL, NBA, MLB, and college basketball, the Sharp Plays delivers free betting reports, real-time alerts, and market-moving insights straight to your inbox or X feed. Since 2011, trusted by pros, watched by the books. Visit sharpplays.com and stay ahead of the line.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Hey, it's Bill from VSiN. You may know me as the guy who writes the VSiN daily newsletter, but I'm also one of VSiN's owners. If you're a business owner like I am, you need to reach customers ready to spend, right? VSiN talks to millions of engaged sports fans every month, folks with money in their pockets, ready to bet on the next big game. If you want to connect with
this audience, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I got to tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding.
Whoa!
Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, we're pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
I got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
This is Matt Lipsack, the voice of the Youngstown Phantoms, and your home for Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio.
Here on VSiN, I'm John Hansen of fantasypoints.com. We're off to a good start. 4-2 last night. Thursday night special hit at plus 550. Shout out to Sean Tucker out of Syracuse. Sometimes you're better off being lucky than good because my man only got 7 carries. Yet, maybe because of the data that I saw up against those man and gap zone concept runs, maybe that's why they had him out there for that goal line carry. That was unbelievable. So hopefully we can stay hot, and hopefully I didn't just curse myself by mentioning the good record from last night, because that seems to always happen. But probably not going to happen this week, because I am loving these picks. I'm calling my shot here. This is a 7-3 week here, 70%. Let's start with Zay Flowers. We loved the over last week, and it easily hit We were thinking big chunk plays, and we got them. But this week, we're going under 68.5 receiving yards at minus 114 on FanDuel. It is a pretty good schematic matchup for him. He averages a strong 2.42 yards per route run and 0.25 targets per route run against cover 3 and cover 6, which they use about half the time. However, the Bengals, they're an underneath funnel, having allowed the third most receiving yards on throws within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, but the fifth fewest on the deep ball, only 32 yards a game. So I believe Flowers had 2 chunk plays of 30-plus yards last week with that great schematic. It ain't happening this week because he'll likely see shadow coverage from DJ Turner, who is an eraser. He is lights out, and he has been erasing number 1 receivers. The Bengals have allowed the fewest fantasy points per game to opposing number 1 receivers, 10.4, and that's it. Lamar is going to be throwing to the tight ends, not Zay Flowers. Next up, Wan'Dale Robinson. I considered Theo Johnson, but this is a better schematic matchup because, DC, not only are they terrible in every area, really bad inside. So Wan'Dale should be very busy, and he should go over 56.5 receiving yards, minus 114 bet MGM. A lot of positives here. This is what I do. I stack up the positives, and when I get just nothing but positives, we'll go for the play. Top 5 total of the week, 47.5. We should see some action. DC underneath funnel, allowing the 4th most receiving yards on throws within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. Certainly works well with Wan'Dale Robinson and his 8.4 ADOT. They give up, the Commanders, the 3rd most schedule adjusted fantasy points per game to slot receivers. It's worth a plus 3.1 fantasy point boost, which could be 30 yards. They also give up the most receiving yards and the most yards per route run to wideouts in the slot. Wan'Dale last week, a 100% route share. This guy is an Iron Man. He only got 6 for 55 against them in the season opener, but that's very close to this prop right here. And that was with Russ Wilson, who stinks. Jackson Dart is an upgrade. So looking good here. Good schematic matchup. As I mentioned, he's at over 2 yards per route run. Next up, I got to tell you, I absolutely love this one. Shamir DK. Over 29.5 receiving yards. That's minus 114 on FanDuel. Once again, we're just stacking positives. 49ers, a top 5 pass funnel by pass rate over expectation. This game actually has a solid total of 44.5. So we should get some action. DK is coming off season highs in target share and expected fantasy points. Dude had like a 30% target share last week. He has been targeted a 21% more often on a per route basis when the Titans face cover 4, which the Niners run at a top 4 rate. They have the Niners the 3rd most receiving yards, the 4th highest passer rating, and the 2nd most schedule adjusted fantasy points per game to the slot this year. DK runs 71% of his routes from the aforementioned slot. The icing on the cake is the lack of pass rush for the 49ers, who rank dead last in pressure rate and pressure rate over expectation. DK's targets per route run grows from just 0.09 when Cam Ward has been pressured to 0.25 when he's been kept clean. That is a 183% boost. It's ridiculous. The Niners are 12.5-point favorites with the 2nd best implied total. So the Titans should be playing from behind, throwing it quite a bit. Travion Henderson will take advantage of a low number, 45.5, minus 108 on DraftKings. The Bills are the NFL's most extreme run funnel by pass rate over expectation. They have allowed the 3rd most schedule adjusted fantasy points per game to opposing runners, 9th most adjusted yards before contact, 6th most rushing yards per game at 109. Now, Ramondre led Henderson last week in snap share, but the carry share was close, really close, 41-38. Henderson got all 3 of the backfield carries inside the 10. So he's not even remotely close to being like in Chateau Bow Wow or anything like that. And most importantly, it's a great schematic matchup for him. 62% of his runs have come on man and gap concept runs, second most in the league, against which the Bills allow the second most yards per carry, 5.1. So we might even need just 9 carries or something, like rip off a longer run. Next up, speaking of ripping off longer runs, Travis Etienne. First time I'm in on ETN, but the positives are so strong that I got to go there. Over 71.5 rushing yards at -115 on BetMGM. Jags have a top 5 implied total. They are 12.5 favorites against the Jets. That bodes well for ETN, who sees a 93% boost to his fantasy points per snap when leading up against the Jets defense that ranks top 5 as a run funnel. They have surrendered the 6th most rushing yards per game, 2nd most fantasy points per game to opposing running backs since trading Quinyon Williams. We mentioned the explosive run rate last week with that Achane prop. So, look, they gave up 31 carries for 199 and 2 touchdowns. And Bashal Tutin, he is, in fact, likely in Chateau Bow Wow. He lost a fumble last week, and that was it. We didn't see from him again. Chris Olave, love this one, 58.5. Panthers run cover 3 at the 3rd highest rate. Olave averages a very strong 2.48 yards per route run against the coverage. He sees a 15% target per route run boost and a 37% yard per route run boost. He set season highs in receiving yards in this matchup in week 10. I believe we liked him in this one. I think we played it. He had 104 yards. Just unbelievable. Tyler Shuck, that was his second start, and he did well. Speaking of Shuck, Olave's targets per route run grows significantly when Shuck is kept clean, which is notable because the Panthers have the 2nd lowest pressure rate in football. He got 5 for 104 with a touchdown, so I do believe we'll get to 59 yards. I also believe that Isaiah Likely will get it done, as he did in the first matchup a couple of weeks ago, 37.5. We all know the Bengals are the worst matchup. In fact, one of the worst teams ever against the tight end, as evidenced by Isaiah Likely getting 5 grabs for 95. It is a better schematic matchup than it is for Mark Andrews. We're also going to go under on Rain Dakota Prescott, under 265. The Vikings run the highest rate of 2 high safeties. Dak averages a weaker 6.59 YPA against the shell. Minnesota allows the 4th fewest passing yards, 6th fewest passing touchdowns. They have not allowed a quarterback to account for a touchdown in 4 straight games. And that's why they're giving up the fewest schedule adjusted fantasy points per game to quarterbacks in the passing game only, -8 fantasy points. So I think they'll run the ball a lot. And I also think Aaron Jones over 14.5 receiving yards per game. I love this one. The Cowboys allow the 2nd most receiving yards per game. Jahmyr Gibbs just got him for 7 grabs for 77. And we love that prop last week. Final reminder to hang with us here for Money Moves. Jonathan Von Tobel at 2 Eastern. Mike Palm checks in from Circa Sports and more. But I got to pop out the best bet of the week. We are 10-4 on best bets, and it is Nico Collins, over 74.5 receiving yards. Great schematic matchup. The Cardinals run cover 4 at the highest rate. Collins gets an 18% boost to his targets per route run. He averages 3.55 yards per route run. The Cardinals have generated the NFL's 4th lowest pressure rate, which is huge for Stroud, who then targets Collins much more. So I feel very good about this one. We're going to get a big play to Nico Collins, and he's going to get at least 75 receiving yards in Week 15. That is the show. We thank Michael Cohen for producing all week. We thank you for tuning in. Good luck with the plays in Week 15. We'll catch you on Monday for another edition of Prop Points here on VSiN.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming soon, but your opportunity to be there starts now through an exclusive offer with an eligible Bank of America Visa credit card. For a limited time, become a new customized cash rewards or unlimited cash rewards Visa credit card holder, and you will be eligible for a chance to purchase FIFA World Cup 2026 tickets. Learn more at BofA.com/cardFWC26. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America NA in partnership with Visa. Terms apply. Rights reserved.
In sports, timing is everything, and your moment is now with VEASAN. If you're a business owner, advertiser, or media buyer, VEASAN connects your brands to millions of engaged sports fans who don't just watch the game, they live it. Reach fans across our live television shows, top-ranked podcasts, daily newsletter.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have any body to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Are you ready to hit the gridiron and make your mark? The Cleveland Cobras are recruiting players and coaches for the upcoming Premier Amateur Football League season. We're looking for passion, grit, and the relentless drive to win. Whether you're a seasoned vet or hungry rookie, your shot starts now. Join a brotherhood, build a legacy, strike with the Cobras. Follow us on Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football, or for league information, visit TAFLfootball.com to get started today. Team Pride Cobras.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem's local and national sports talk can be found on TuneIn and the Live 365 app at Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
Nina's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard, or call 234-254-8532.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
It's time to kick back and listen to the sports page with your host, Pat Lucia, right here on Western Reserve Radio. You can call the show at 330-707-4202 and tell everyone what's on your mind in the wonderful world of sports. Now, here's your host, Pat Lucia.
Saturday morning sports page. Pat Lucia. Dave Clark. 330-707-4202. Get in. Talk sports on the Saturday morning sports page. Western Reserve Radio is the station you are listening to. Dave Clark. Gee, we don't have absolutely anything to talk about today. Ha ha. Like, where do you start? Where do you want to go? There's all kinds of stuff going on in the wonderful world of sports. Obviously, the story started Wednesday. Sharon Moore out, Michigan coach. Then it comes out later that he had an inappropriate relationship with an assistant that they don't mention her name. But then as you started to read all of the things in between the investigation, evidently he went over to her apartment and threatened to kill himself with butter knives and a scissors. Dave Clark.
Maybe the scissors, butter knife.
I don't
Probably
think the
not.
butter knife's going to do it. So ultimately, where this all started was from reading now all these reports that are out. He evidently was having an affair with this assistant for. I read this as a couple years. Everybody in Michigan evidently knew about it, but the assistant, kept denying it. So the school couldn't take any action against him because they said they had no evidence. Well, evidently she wanted to end the relationship. That's where he started to evidently stalk her, hassle her. So she called it the university, reported the relationship. Michigan fired him. Then he went over to her apartment and, in essence, basically threatened to kill himself with the butter knives and scissors. She called 911, and then ultimately he fled the scene. He was later picked up at a church, and then he was brought in to the police department. He has since posted his bond, and now evidently he is home waiting his trial which I believe they said is January 22nd. I'm giving you really a quick reader's version of this. I could actually start reading the details of this, but that's kind of the real quick Reader's Digest version of what in essence happened. He was taken in custody in the Waukesha County Jail. It says he could face 5 years behind bars if convicted of the top charge of home invasion. What were the charges? So, in essence, he's got a felony and 2 misdemeanors he is facing. And he's married with 3 children, and evidently, well, he was carrying on an affair with this assistant who he doubled the salary. She was making $50,000, and now she was making $90,000, and they're obviously reporting on that. Mm-hmm. Now but you know what? To take a step back, some people now are like looking at the athletic director here. I mean, they're almost like saying, "Hey, buddy, like you had this whole problem with the cheating, with Harbaugh and the cheating and Connor Stallions. You had this." You also had a bad situation with Juwan Howard when he was head coach. He got into it with the fitness trainer, because of the fitness trainer was recommending certain rehab for Juwan Howard's son, who was playing for Michigan at the time. And Juwan did not agree with it. And evidently they got into an exchange. And I'm not sure if it turned physical or what exactly happened. But in essence, then they ultimately fired Juwan Howard because he went 8-24. And that happened under this athletic director's watch.
Yeah. Yeah. He's going to come under the question. I remember that with Juwan Howard. And, the thing I thought, as a trainer and already did that type of work with my brother, one of the things I know he showed me, you got recommended for your clients. You tell them this is what you need to do. If a parent comes in and say, nope, I don't agree with that, I don't want them doing it, then that's the end of the conversation. That is it. So, I mean, I don't understand why that would have got into an argument base, because me as a trainer, if he says he don't want his son doing it, that's the end of it. Now, so it shouldn't really escalate it. But all these things, none of it surprised me more. Anybody, I mean, I can go back to the Bobby Petrinos.
This isn't the first, right? Yeah, yeah. This isn't the first, right? Yeah. This isn't the first.
When they said with Urban Meyer, when they said, "Oh my God, he was there with this young woman and had his hand on her," like that's the first time. Come on. That stuff didn't happen there. Bobby Petrino riding on
with the
motorcycle,
the girlfriend,
with the girl. This is the thing that I don't understand. If it gets to that point, that you see you done lost your sense of direction. It's all on some other woman, especially they be younger. They inspire you, because at a certain age you do. You get this little, I'm losing, and then you get inspired by a young. Right then, you need to get your life in order, and if not, you need to come and sit the family down. If you think you got to go an opposite way, then sit it down so you don't have a messy situation like these things is. Now this thing blow up in your face like the Bobby Petrinos did, and this here situation. There's so many on down the line. You lose your entire family and everything else over. On the radio, FCC. Right. So over what? Come on. I mean, I just don't understand. I even hate thinking of those situations. I mean, it just don't make any sense to just you ruin your entire life with that. So, hey, well, NFL playoffs.
Well, Michigan now is going to be needing a coach.
Yeah.
And that's where we lie. It'll be interesting to see. Now they're on probation too. Michigan's on academic. They're on probation because of all of the cheating and what happened. So it may not be people have such an attractive job. Well, right now it's kind of going to be a train wreck, because now these kids are all going to leave. Like that star quarterback is going to go to another school. Like
Yeah.
those kids are all going to bolt because they can. Because now with the way it works, when your coach is fired, you can leave.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's going to set up where I believe the transfer portal starts in a couple weeks.
Right.
So these kids can all jump on the wagon.
Especially if they don't find a coach. If they
don't find anybody.
If they find somebody reputable that
wants to go there.
Yeah, or somebody within the system. However, and they can salvage some of them kids there in some of their recruiting class. But, like I said, none of this stuff really surprised me. And when people say, see, look what no, what happened is they happen to got caught. There's so many of these schools do it, and roughly, I'm going to be honest with you, probably 90-something% do something.
Well,
when you say this, everybody is scot-free, clean, they don't do anything, yeah, okay. I got some land to sell you because it's something. It might be minute, but it's still something that you shouldn't be doing. It's like if I told you, or you said, hey, I'll give you $40 as soon as I write a check out of my checking account, but I go sign your name. I do it. That's illegal. Even though you told me I could do it, get it, and I signed your name, that's an illegal act. So that's why I say when it's something could be as minute, they all do something. They don't entice these kids to get there for nothing. Now, we just go back to our old days of in the gym bags and envelopes and great $50 handshakes and all the other stuff. So, this has been going on for years. It's just this stuff doesn't surprise me. Just like I said, you happen to get caught. There's a lot of schools that haven't got caught, but they, eventually, somewhere, something. They may not catch everything, but there's something. They'll get caught up in the wash.
For the record, Moore now faces charges of felony home invasion and a pair of misdemeanors, which are stalking and breaking and entering. A judge
she was trying to keep him out, right?
What's that?
She was trying to keep him out from coming in her place. So
she tried. Right, she tried to keep him out, and he broke in, and that's when he threatened. Again, this is what the reports are saying, that he threatened to kill himself with butter knives and scissors, in essence saying, "My blood is on your hands because you ruined my life," is what he allegedly said to her, and so that's when.
No. If anybody happened to get a chance to look at, what is it? It's on YouTube, I'm sure, but it's reels where it showed Husmanzada. Remember?
TJ Husmanzada was. I saw that clip. Yeah,
and he went off, and
he did.
And when he went off and said, he was exactly right. He said, "What are you talking about? We don't have no empathy for you. You caused the problem. It ain't about she did something that." Because you were in control of the situation. Yeah. So nobody should feel sorry, and nobody should be getting anything except you.
You're the one.
You ruined your own life. She didn't ruin anything. Right. Now, you want to say she took advantage of? Maybe so. She got almost doubled her salary, this and that. But you the one that caused that. You know it wasn't the right thing. It's inappropriate. You know that. Even if you wasn't having an affair, just you was thinking about having an affair and I doubled your salary. You know that's inappropriate. You shouldn't be doing that. And there ain't been no touchy hand, feely, nothing going on, but you did that. That's out of line. So he ruined his own life. Don't feel sorry at all. This stupid. That's what it is. It's stupid.
The TJ Husmanzada was not he was not sympathetic at all. In fact, he was very critical and said he ruined. Yep. You had your family, your wife, and your 3 children there. You ruined their lives because of you're basically.
And if you and your wife have a situation that's not kosher, that's why you split, because you got those kids involved. You want to keep that tight between your wife and the kids and yourself and the kids. If you guys can just be apart and get along that way, then so be it. If you can't, just stay apart from each other. But don't hurt the kids.
That's what the children are.
Keep that. Right. That's the most important part right there. They got to get through life like that. You grown, you'll find how to maneuver and get through life. But they growing up. That's man. Yeah. college playoffs, NFL. I get sick of that because it makes me mad because I think of different people I know that's been in these situations or have had these situations, and it made no sense. I mean, personally, you may know some people too, and it's just. I mean, I just don't get it.
Yeah, and this evidently, and all these reports you're hearing now, this relationship he and this staff member had been going on for a while. And in fact, there's one part that said it was years that they'd been going on. So, and it was well known in the university, like everybody around. They weren't very coy or they weren't like secretive about it. Everybody knew what was going on, and
that's what I say. There's so many
of
tiers of this thing because if it's like that in a big university like Michigan, how? I mean, unless she's just oblivious.
That's what I
how
mean.
His wife didn't know.
That's the other part, right?
Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of stuff.
Right.
Out there.
There's all these other questions.
We're not talking about Saginaw Valley.
No.
In Michigan, you got the little, and might not hear it's a little blip. People ain't paying attention. We're talking about Michigan University. I can't see if it's that open, coy, and people know it. I can't see how she didn't get a wink of that. I don't get it.
Yeah, I
believe she probably has.
Maybe she knew.
Yeah.
But she had children. She had other things that was buried just to kind of bury it, put it in the back burner, and get tied up with the children and doing her thing, because that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And maybe it was just something that she kind of knew about. Yep. You
don't
know.
You haven't heard anything about it from that end. So their relationship,
you just don't know.
You know what? Their relationship might be in one of those where, okay, we're married. We're not going to get a divorce because of the kids.
And that
do whatever you want to do.
And that could be true.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm going to do what, and I might not do anything. She might say, I'm not doing anything, but you go do whatever you want.
Right. But
you take care of these kids.
Because that's it.
Right. When these kids are grown, be able to
and
go
then we'll
out,
work. That's true.
We go our separate ways.
And that could be true.
Yeah.
And that could also be true.
Yep. Absolutely could be true.
And that's kind of in a nutshell. We don't know that.
Right.
Again, we're just like potentially speculating that could have been the case. Yeah. Because it just seems to me when you're reading this and then you're hearing that it seems like everybody around there, not everybody, a lot of people knew what was going on. And she was near him, like on the sidelines. They're showing pictures. They're always like together, and it's just weird.
Yeah, so there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way that, I can't see it. I mean, a big program like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so open, and people were saying how much they knew.
Right.
We all knew. No, I can't. I believe the wife knew. And like I said, it could be a situation where they're mutually done agreed. Right. I don't, we just get through this until the kids are grown. Sad, but believe me, a lot of families do that.
Well, it looks like the Michigan athletic director, I guess it's Warde, W-A-R-D-E, Manuel. People are now saying, hey, maybe he needs to go, that they need to really start over with all of with all these other problems that occurred under his watch. Again, the whole situation with the Juwan Howard, some people thought that after he punched the Wisconsin coach in the handshake line that time, that they should have fired him then, but they kept him on. And then ultimately there was that issue with the strength coach over the rehab of Juwan's son, where they got into a physical altercation or alleged physical altercation. And the people are saying, hey, this guy's got a lot of anger issues. And then when the team went 8-24, then they got rid of him. Somebody made the comment that had Sharon Moore beat Ohio State, they would have paid this lady off and kept him as head coach, is what somebody made the comment. Now, I don't think that, I don't think that would have happened.
No, I don't
not with this situation. No. But the bottom line is that's people just, again, going off speculating. But at the end of the day,
and then that's just people that that's the thing I hate about the
Twitter and all
everything, and then all the schools. If it's Auburn, Alabama, if it's USC, UCLA, Ohio State, Michigan, and on and on and on, they blow it out of proportion. Because I hate Michigan or I hate Ohio State. So whenever something happened to one of those schools, I don't care how minute, they pile on.
They do.
And then they start saying things like that.
Like that.
And then they say it so much, people start to believe it.
Right.
Yeah, I just don't, that's just, I don't think this one would have got by.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think that the fact that he went over there, and she denied this relationship
Right.
for a long, long time, but everybody knew it was occurring, and I think that's what. And then ultimately, once she wanted to cut it off, that's where it went sideways. That's when she called the university and said, "Yeah, we are basically having a relationship." And then they fired him, and then once he found out he was fired, he went off the deep end, sort of to speak. But the point is, what did he think? Like, the point is, the whole time this was occurring, he knew you're not supposed to be having a relationship with people that work for you.
Yeah.
And that
because you get so deep.
Right. And I guess you just
get oblivious to everything else.
to it all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then
you're locked
ultimately,
in.
yeah.
It's
And
like a drug. I mean,
yeah,
I hate
it
to
is.
say it. But it is. You know, I know we're not,
No,
not counselors or
yeah.
relationship type things of this nature, but you get hung up with a female in the wrong capacity and then continue that. I don't care if it's 1-2 times, then all of a sudden you're caught up in it. And everything else is just like, it doesn't matter after a while. And then when longer it goes, you'll see where you might have used to hide. You'll just be right and open. You just don't care anymore. You know. So the AD, the thing that I got a problem with, the AD is overlooks everything, right? So he looks at the financial charts and everything. When you see a staff member getting $50,000,
they're making now almost 90.
Why is this? Can we come in the office? Let's talk.
Yeah,
what's going on?
Let's talk about this.
Nothing is said, nothing is done. He should be gone.
Right.
He's overseeing that.
Right. That's what I thought. I thought at the end of the day, because I mean, something like that,
You should know what's coming in.
he
out of your
would
program.
see that,
Yeah.
and then he would question it, and then he would then be saying, "Okay, why are you giving this person 50 to 90? What's going on?" And then he's there. He sees her with him a lot. And then, I'm sure he's hearing what people are talking about. So at the end of the day, and this is all going under your watch. I mean, and not only that, you had the whole Connor Stallions things. You had the cheating scandal. I know, we don't think a lot of cheating, but it occurred. And then, they weren't cooperative with the NCAA, and so they got in trouble for that. And then obviously you had the whole Juwan Howard situation with going on. It's like, buddy, this is quote your house.
Yeah.
These are all the problems going on under you. I mean, I would think ultimately Michigan's got to say enough.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We need to start over.
Yeah, well, he would have to be gone because if I looked at, she was getting 50 and then 90.
Right.
But then again, I'm thinking, I can't see it's put in the budget that she's getting from 50 to 90. I can't see it.
No, I can't
but
either.
I can see it saying 50, but she's getting 90. So where's the other 40 grand coming from? Are you putting false stuff down? So you as the athletic director, if you put down something, you got to look it up and find out, okay, where did that go?
Right.
So I can have all my ducks in a row, all my paperwork. If I don't got anything, something's wrong. We got to go and check.
Well, right, and I question, does that have to get approved by other people? I mean, does the coach have that kind of authority with the budget, with the money? And he said,
"Yep, I don't."
I mean, I again, then you're getting into that. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah, I don't understand it, but I'm gonna think of this. I was the athletic director for. We was talking about for the middle school that I did. Now,
Okay,
I know it's a smaller scale.
No, but
I'm just looking at the chain of reaction.
Yeah, that's a chain of command.
Man, so I'm looking at whenever we did something, I had to document it and put it down, and I had to give it to the principal or the board first. It normally was the board and the principal, then we have a meeting. And whoever, and then the coach might have documented to me what he wanted to do. That's how you do it. And there usually be some chain of command that they go through. You don't just, I'm going to do this, I'm going to got this, I'm going to do this.
No.
You can't go wild, willy-nilly like that with money. Now, and this is a big scale.
Right.
I
This
can't
is
see
right.
This
You're,
not having no chain of command.
that's it. It's got to. That's
It
right.
has to.
That's what I couldn't figure out when
throw
they
around 40 grand.
Yeah.
Throw it around.
She went from 50 to 90, like in a year.
Yeah. No.
And I mean,
and I really don't believe it was put down with showing that she almost doubled her salary.
Yeah.
Because that's going to flags everywhere.
Well, that's what I would think.
So it's got to be, 8,000 over here, 12, 15, 5. Now we got our 40 grand. Yeah. But okay, now let's have the paperwork and all the things that show these things you did. We don't see it. You got no documentation. Something's wrong in there.
Right. Well, no, that leads to another thing because like somebody said, well, she, kind of got a promotion. Yeah, but in my experience, when you get promotion, you get like maybe a 20% bump.
Yeah.
Like, you might go from 50 to 60 because I got a promotion. I don't know if you can go from like 50 to 90. I mean, and it was just like.
I mean, unless you.
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I would say unless you're a staff member and then the assistant athletic director all of a sudden. Okay, but then that'd be a legitimate move. Everybody will know it. The president of the school, everybody's going to know.
Okay, exactly. Right.
But that wasn't the case here.
No.
It just changed. Her salary just changed. But they didn't find us out until after the situation came
right.
up.
And
that's why I think it wasn't logged in as a thing that she was getting it. They found out that she was getting it.
After, right. All this comes to light after the firing. Then they look into this, and then this all comes out that she got a significant increase in salary. And so, and he basically, they said he had signed a 5-year contract with a base salary of, $5.5 million last year. So he was getting 5 years at $5.5 million. So, that's all gone now.
Yeah. And I think of guys,
that's like what, 27.5
Yep.
Is what and that's gone. So that's cause they fired him. He gets nothing.
Right. And that's sad, but that's his own doings though. And I'm gonna tell you, some people are, I look at when I was talking about Urban Meyer, the best thing that could have happened to him was that happened. Get out of that situation.
And he did.
And look, he's still on TV, still making money. He's still doing a good job. So that was the best thing that could ever happen. Same thing when I look at Udoka when he was with the Celtics.
Yeah.
All that stuff that went on, mess with staff members, different things.
He got in trouble with the staff member.
You can't do that. I forgot the football player, but my wife's cousin is a cheerleader, actually, not the cheerleader, dance line for the Eagles.
Okay.
And she was telling us about, the players can't.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to have any relationship with the women, the dance line, the cheerleaders, none of that. They're strictly barred. They're not supposed to be.
And it was a player that.
Oh, yeah.
He said it was about 10 years ago. They actually tried to have a relationship. They got it cut off quickly.
Yeah.
But they did. But they actually made it low key and released him.
Yep.
Because he did acknowledge, he apologized and everything, and they released him. But they had to release him.
Yeah, he's gone.
So it's something you can't do.
Because it's in the right.
Yeah, it's in the writing. You can't do it. So
one reason why the New York Giants don't have cheerleaders.
Yeah, I mean,
they don't. That's what. So they were saying teams that don't have cheerleaders, and it came out, and I think one reason why the Giants don't is because they don't want to have to deal with it.
Yeah, because they
don't want to deal with the players and the relationship. They don't want it.
It's always going to be enticing.
Yep, you're always going to have to police it.
Yeah, and it's
you're policing that. Where if you don't have it, you don't have to police it.
I mean,
you don't have to worry about it.
This one guy went far, but Doug Christie, remember him?
Yeah, Doug Christie.
He took his wife on every road.
Oh yeah, she was yes, yeah. She was going on every road trip because she did. She knew what was out there.
Right. Yep.
And I remember that. Saturday morning sports page. We're just starting off here. We got to talk of so much to get to. Wonderful world of sports. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. Back after this. Saturday morning sports page. Western Reserve Radio.
Are you tired of switching apps just to catch your favorite shows and live events? Say hello to the iMedia1 Network app, your one-stop destination for streaming and everything that matters. From national sports to exclusive local content, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast are now all in one place, anytime, anywhere. Download the free iMedia1 Network app on iOS and Android and unlock the future of sports audio in the palm of your hand. The iMedia1 Network, your sports app in the Valley.
If I could be you.
And you could be me for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way
to get inside each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
So why do teenagers play high school sports?
My reason why is a sense of purpose.
My reason why is to inspire others.
One reason student athletes seldom mention is to get an athletic scholarship. They know that only 2% of all high school athletes are awarded a sports scholarship. So why do they play?
My reason why is friendship.
Tell us your reason using the hashtag #MyReasonWhy.
This message presented by the NFHS and the Ohio High School Athletic Association.
Saturday morning sports page coming back at you, 330-707-4202. Obviously, Michigan now looking for a head coach. It looks like some of the candidates' names being thrown out there is that Kalen DeBoer from Bama seems to be the one that's at the top of the list. Brian Kelly, Jed Fish, Manny Diaz, Tony Elliott, Jesse Minter.
And Jesse Minter was there
a
couple years back as a defensive coordinator with Harbaugh. So he came over to the Chargers with Harbaugh. So, would he go back? Possibly. It's possible. That would be a good hire, too, if they could get him. If they could get him.
If they can get him.
And they keep Wink Martindale with him, those two minds together, that's insane right there.
We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, it will. The thing is, right now, they will. They have to go. They're playing the Citrus Bowl against Texas.
Yeah.
And that's, I believe, at the 31st, New Year's. So New Year's Eve. So we'll see what transpires between how many players stay and then how many players are going to leave. And then those that are leaving, they may not play in the game. So
it'll a couple days before the portal, right?
Yeah, the portal is,
I don't know if it's the following Monday or I don't know. It's January 2nd, 3rd. I don't know when it starts. But it's right in there, right in the beginning of January, I believe.
Here it is. The new window is January 2nd to the 16th.
Okay, 2 weeks.
Replacing the old winter-spring system.
Yeah.
And then it says basketball has its main window in March, April. It says men are March 24th to April 22nd. Women are March 25th to April 23rd. Other sports like soccer have specific fall, winter windows. Example, women's soccer is November 17th to December 17th, 2025. So theirs is already going. Mm-hmm. So the point is the transfer portal is January 2nd to the 16th. So they play Michigan January, I believe the 31st. They play Michigan in the Citrus Bowl, then the portal opens. So now, between now and then, all these kids can get poached because they all can get recruited. Right. So now all these, coaches from other schools can call all these kids. The one I think of value is I can't remember the starting quarterback for Michigan.
Underwood.
Underwood, that's it. He is supposedly the one everybody's interested in. And also, people believe that Moore didn't utilize him properly, and that now there's all these other schools. I heard one rumor about like LSU, all these schools are coming out. They're going to go after him and recruit him and give him NIL money.
Right.
So he's going to sit back and, he could stay in Michigan, or I'm assuming he's probably going somewhere else.
Yeah.
And he's going to make, obviously, a lot of money. I mean, he'll figure that out.
I mean, the only way I see him staying,
could stay.
Yeah, he could. Now, he might really be locked in, but let's say he's wondering what to do. I think the only thing that can convince him to stay is they get the right coach before that deadline.
January 2nd.
Yeah, I think before it even starts.
Well, he's getting poached now. So his phone, all these kids are now, since Moore's fired, now all these kids are getting, every, I'm going to say they're all coaches, et cetera, assistant coaches.
Yeah.
Whatever they use, scout, they're all getting their phones. These Michigan players' phones are blowing off the hook because people want them to transfer to their place. And the stars are, basically getting a lot of attention. And they can leave January 2nd.
That's what I say. They got to get a coach before that time.
They really got to move on. If
one of these guys want it
now.
Yeah.
Like they got to.
Yeah, I think they will. I mean, it's tough, but you're going to have to, as long as they get the permission of those guys, the names you got, and they can talk to them and see.
Yeah.
And maybe the guys will come to agreement. Then they can have a chance to put their spiel together to keep, because some of these coaches are going to tell them, come on to our school, because now they're going to be under probation. That situation has nothing to do with any academics at the school. It's not going to cause that. You just see the different, like the scenarios you done brought up over and over, things happening, just to put some doubt in their mind about staying at the school. So they got to get somebody in there that has done well at a program like DeBoer. Who's another one? Did you say their name? I forgot it was another, but regardless, Diaz has been good to get to Duke. I forgot where he was at Miami at one time as defense coordinator, and he was somewhere else too. But those guys, if they can get somebody like that, will be good for them. If they get it, DeBoer would be good because the offensive mind, that will bode well for Underwood to show, hey, we throw the ball around, and that's something that DeBoer likes to do. So I'm sure he'll like that. But they just might clean. They might clean house. We'll see what happens.
Here's what the current Michigan football is on probation for: both a COVID-19 recruiting violation and a sign stealing scandal. The COVID-related case resulted in a 3-year probation, a fine, and recruiting restrictions, while the sign stealing scandal resulted in a separate 4-year probation, significant financial penalties, and show cause orders for the coaches involved. Like Harbaugh's got a 10-year, he's not coming back, but they gave Harbaugh a 10-year show cause. I saw that. So if you're a coach, you need to know this, obviously, coming to the school, that you are under the watchful eye of the NCAA now, because they're going to be looking to see if you do anything.
Yeah.
Because that's the way they do it.
Well, anything.
Right.
Even if you didn't do that, they want to find
they're
on every school possible.
He had, this is what the penalties were for the sign stealing: 4 years probation. The violation was an advanced scouting scheme that involved in-person scouting using electronic equipment to record opponent signals. The penalties are a $50,000 fine plus a 10% of the football's program budget, a fine equivalent to the loss of postseason competition revenue sharing for 2025-2026, about $20 million. 25% reduction in official visits for 25-26, a 14-week probation on recruiting communications during probation period, 8-year show cause for former staff for Connor Stallions, a 10-year show cause order for Harbaugh, and a 3-game suspension for the current coach Sharon Moore. So that was the sign stealing.
And
I mean,
this is something I went to. Something I know it's got. Well, it does got to do what we're talking about, in a way. Up in the Metroplex.
Yep.
They had a program up there, and they was selling extravagant things, all kind of stuff. So I was walking through, and they had these glasses, and I looked. I said, "Oh, those are nice looking glasses." He said, "Oh, those are electronic. Okay. They tape. They do." I said, "What?"
Right.
So he put them on. Nice glasses. Got a little camera thing up in there. You don't even know it. You can't tell.
Right.
And I can be like we could do now, and we could be talking, having an interview, and I have a whole tape of everything you're doing.
And you could watch, you could tape video to everything.
Yeah. And I asked the guy, I said, how long that's been there? Oh, he said, that's been around probably about 10, 15 years. I said, what? He said, they just made it better, did things.
Right. They just made it,
It was like $275 for that. That was a lower end one. I said, wow. I said, but you think a program won't invest in something like that? And they can be doing that everywhere. You think just Michigan does it? No. When I seen that thing, I said, oh, my good. I could see, that's why I said the same thing about the Patriots. I said, you think they the only ones that was still doing? I said, they all do something.
Yeah, I know. And I think that's what everybody.
It's sad you can get these things to do it.
Yeah, and that's just when you break it down, it's like somebody's trying to,
Just trying to do something, trying to get an advantage.
Everybody's always trying to get an advantage, no matter what it is, somehow, some way.
Yeah, yep, that's just how it is. So,
well, we'll see what happens ultimately and who goes to Michigan, how fast they act.
Yeah,
and interesting to watch their game against Texas to see exactly how many players play for that, or how many leave or will be gone.
You'll know a lot by then.
Yeah.
They're on the 31st. I'm almost certain.
Yeah, it is.
Eve. So, you'll know a lot about what's going on, and you could go from there. See how many guys might say, hey, I'm not playing in the game, and things of that nature. But I give them kudos if they go and play. I mean, I still would want to play in a bowl game regardless.
Well, and that's what the thing could be, too, is ultimately kids, I mean, the players could want to play in it anyway because they want to compete.
Yes.
And that they may be going to another school. Now, some don't want to play because they don't want to risk injury. I understand that part, too.
Especially if they're a draft. I understand that. But other guys,
But if you're going to go to another school and you want to play, I mean, you want to go out.
And
that's kind of how, I can respect that part too.
Yeah, but it's just so different because I remember when the late Jim Brown was still living, he said that about college football, where these guys opt out not to play. He said, when he was a football player, guys that came after him and things, you a football player. And when you supposed to play football for that university, we're not opting out. And he said, you think back in the day, who opted out from any bowl game ever? They is excited to play in it. They know they risking something to go to the NFL. But it wasn't about that. They wouldn't play in these games because you're playing against the better teams. It gives you even more competitional and spirited thing like that. I don't understand it. And that's the thing I don't get. I mean, I do understand, like we talk about, okay, that's why they don't want to do. Okay, I see. But how did it become like that when it was never like that before? And now you got better chances of being in better shape now because of all the intricacies of trainings and things that you got now. But you real concerned, I can't ruin my $1 million contract. Where guys back then didn't care.
No, and
they wasn't thinking about that.
No.
They played for the university.
They played, and they wanted to compete.
That's right.
And that was part of why they went there, because they wanted to compete. You never saw players sitting out bowl games. I can't remember. I mean, especially 70s and 60s, 70s. Nobody. They all played.
Yeah.
And most of these guys played. They didn't even think about what's it going to do to my pro career. No, they all played. Earl Campbell played in that Cotton Bowl against Notre Dame. They lost. I mean, I remember watching all those guys play, and I never heard anybody say, yeah, I'm not playing because, I just think of all those players back then. Nobody sat out.
No. Come on.
Those players said, no, we're,
playing.
I'm going to be a number 1 pick, or I'm going to be a top 5 NFL, but I'm playing in the bowl. I mean, for my school, I'm going out and I'm playing, and they didn't, there was always an injury risk there, but they never brought it. They never maybe they thought about it, but they never said it. Right. And they definitely went out and they played hard.
Yeah.
So
all of a sudden, everything all around the board, all the way to, I'm going to take, NBA. We got to, I'm going to be off a couple of nights, and they don't play. They didn't do that. 82, every year, guys play straight through, back to back to back. Not back to back, back to back to back.
Many years
they didn't
ago,
care.
Many years ago, but they flew commercial.
That's right.
They did not have Lear jets, or they didn't have private planes. They drove. They flew
on buses too. A lot of times,
at buses.
Yep, certain.
They had, they flew commercial. I guess that their old McHale talked about the Larry Bird story where they were flying from Detroit to New Jersey to play, and they got stuck in a snowstorm, so they didn't even have time to go to the hotel, and they got into Jersey and they went right to the arena, and they were had slept at the airport because in Detroit, because the flights were delayed, and they finally got into Jersey, went right, and Larry Bird was mad, and he went up to one of the players and he says, "We're going to kick your butt tonight because I had to eat hot dogs all day." Mm-hmm. And the guy goes, forget who the player was. He goes to Bird, what does that have to do with you? Why are you going to want to kick our butt because of hot dogs? Because Bird just had a chip. He was mad. He goes, yeah, Bird went out and scored. McHale goes, yeah, and then Bird goes out and scores whatever, and he goes, but that's what they did. He said they didn't even sleep. They slept either on the plane, and then they went right from the airport because of the snow. And the guy said, I can't take you to the hotel because the roads are so bad. The best I could do is get you to the arena. So they just plopped them to the arena, and then they had to go out and play. So it was like, that's I'm just saying then, and they all played. Like nobody sat out and said, well, I'm not playing because I didn't sleep.
I got to get load management.
No load management. They went out, and that's what the whole thing was. You read when McHale's telling the story, and you're kind of like, so nobody sat out. Like that was the part that amazed me. That it's like, well, nobody said, well, we slept in the on the plane, or but we didn't sleep. We didn't go to a hotel and sleep. We went right from the airport got on a plane, and then right to the arena, and we played ball. So we had really no sleep, but everybody played.
Right.
Yep. And nobody thought about sitting out. And it was a regular season game. They were playing, Boston was playing the Nets. I believe it was the New Jersey Nets. And they were all upset because it was like, we were in an airport all day and then all night. Got on the plane and flew in, and then they couldn't even go to the hotel and clean up. They went right to the.
Yeah, I remember. I read something like that about Will Chamberlain too.
Chamberlain, right?
They had to rode a bus, and they had some problems or something, and they had to go and just play. They didn't get the rest they needed. But he went in there that particular night, had 50 points, 30-something rebounds. I forgot how many block shots and stuff.
That's it.
Can you imagine this 7-foot guy can't lay down?
No.
He's up, cramped up. And then go play.
Well, there was,
and put up numbers like that.
And they were saying back then, like, Russell and Chamberlain and all the tall players, when they flew, They didn't fly first class.
No.
They flew coach, and they were sitting in those seats with their knees up into their chin, and they were sitting there for 2 to 3 hours, and then they would get out of. Then they would go right to the arena sometimes because the flight wasn't on. You know,
Yeah.
planes weren't online. They weren't, and they started. They went and played,
Yep.
and nobody said, well, Russell could sit out a half. He went out, and Chamberlain and all those players, and went out and played.
Yeah.
I mean, and nobody blinked, and nobody thought, they didn't think anything of it. And nobody thought about taking it off. And nobody said, well, we play 82 games, so if we miss a game, big deal. No. They all, I mean, you look at all those guys, Magic, Bird, all of them, all of the players back then, they all played. And they played long.
They had to be injured.
Yeah, they had to be really hurt.
Yeah, or they're playing. Some guys, I remember Dominique Wilkins, I think he broke his something. And I remember him playing with a cast, a soft cast. He said he's coming back too early. Nah,
no,
he ain't missing no more
I'm
games.
missing any more.
I'm playing.
Still
slamming the ball.
Right.
This is a different.
It's just a different mentality altogether.
It's way different.
And yet this is
We
what
got
always
great athletes today, but they're coddled.
Oh, totally. And they make the most money. Like, that's the other thing I always go back to. When you look at what, especially these players, they started to make decent money in the 70s. But when you take back in the 60s and the 50s, they weren't making a lot of money. Like, none of the athletes made a lot of money. Baseball, basketball, football. Those guys did not make a lot of money.
Right. And I'm trying to think who was on the interview. I know you'd have loved watching this. It wasn't Eric Dickerson. Somebody said he had a good relationship with Deacon Jones before he died. With Deacon Jones. And Deacon Jones told him, they asked him about how much money did he get. It might have been Eric Dickerson.
Could have been.
He asked him
Deacon.
how much did he get monthly on the premium they give him from the NFL. $215.
Yeah.
What is he supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
A month. Come on, man.
No.
Those
guys played.
I think what they make today and all the money that's put in there, they should have a big fund that these guys should be getting some big time money. You know, I'm not saying millions, but I'm saying this should be 20 something. I mean, this should be nice amount of money they should get monthly.
Yeah.
$215.
Yeah, I think that's what I think he was. Yeah, that might have been like the retirement then.
Yeah, the
pension.
Retirement.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
The pension was like nothing.
How's that not a couple thousand? Or, something like that.
But you look at those players that played for you're getting back in the 60s.
No.
When the sport started to take off and the owners started to make money. In the 50s, the NFL, we talked about it last week, the NFL was losing proposition. It talked about that book. I'm going to get you that book. It's about the 52 Dallas Texans when the league moved the New York Yankees to Dallas. This is the NFL. But the league was losing money. The teams lost money in the 40s and the 50s. It was losing.
Right.
They started to make money because they got the TV deals that Rozelle lined up in the 60s. Mm-hmm. But they didn't pass it down to the players.
Yes, that's right.
See, then the league started to make money, but it wasn't like that's why they went on strike. That's because the players saw how much the owners were making off the TV, and they said, we want some of that. The owners didn't want to give them anything.
Right.
So that's where the strike started. That's where it all started, and people would get upset. But same thing like with baseball and all the other sports. Baseball always made money. They didn't give anything to the players until Marvin Miller. And then, Kurt Flood took the hit. Marvin Miller, they got the free agency. But I know they were talking back years, but football was the same way. When they got TV deals that Rozelle lined up, when he became commissioner in 60, that's where the league teams became profitable. Mm-hmm. Before that, they were not. But they never passed anything on to the players.
Right. Never. No.
So like the Deacon Jones of the world, Lamar Lundy, you go down that fearsome force of Merlin Olsen, the quarterback, everybody. You can start rattle off all the names in the 60s. Those guys didn't make much money.
No, for sure.
But the teams were making money off TV.
And these guys had, a fame. Like, I remember Roman Gabriel saying back, they used to come at him and, look at this famous football player. He said he had nothing more than probably the person who was going, hey, they might have made more money than he did.
Oh, possible, right.
You know, that's what he said. It's just that he had the fame because he played for the Rams. It's in Los Angeles. It's the NFL, and people, but they weren't getting any money.
No.
And that's something.
No.
Their star power just came from them being on that team, but they really wasn't making the money as a star power.
And they really weren't making that much money in the 70s either.
No.
And that's where, like, Ferragamo for the Rams, I remember he was leaving the Rams to go to Canada to play because the Rams were only paying him $50,000 a year.
Yeah, right.
And this was like in 1978, 79 or the Super Bowl. Like, he was not making, and he left after he got the team to the Super Bowl. I believe he left soon after.
Right.
And signed the deal with the Montreal Alouettes for so much money because they were going to offer him more money. He said, but the Rams were only paying him $50,000. So, I mean, again, when you think it back, the athletes did not make a lot of money, and their travel was terrible.
Yeah.
They didn't have Lear jets. They didn't have private planes. They flew commercial, and the owners would stick them in commercial because they weren't going to pay for first class.
Right. That's right.
So Russell, Chamberlain, the face of the league, I mean, they were basically flying coach. Those 7 foot, Russell was 6'10", Chamberlain 7'2", and Kareem even was, he flew coach because, again, they didn't pay for first class because the owners didn't want to spend the money.
Yep.
In fact, some of the writers flew first class that were following the team, and they would go back to coach to interview the players while the plane was in the air, and then the writers would go back to their first class seat, and the players are sitting in the coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sad. But that's what it was.
Though. That's the league, and we get back to this load management. These players, these NBA players, their contracts are sick. They're making $30 million, $20 million. I look at these contracts, and I'm thinking, Bill Russell. I remember reading the book. Bill Russell, I think in his 68, he wanted to make $1 more than Will Chamberlain. Will Chamberlain signed his contract for $100,000. Russell said to Red Auerbach, I want $101,000. I want to make $100 more than Chamberlain, just to make a point. And they gave him the money because he was the leader. But the point is, that's what I was thinking. Oh, that was a lot of money. Not really. Not even if you equate it back then, it wasn't that much money compared to today.
Yeah. Yes.
And that was supposed to be. That was like the biggest contract. Chamberlain was the highest paid player.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's just terrible. That's how it was. And I just think any player that, any player, I don't care what their name, whether well recognized or not, they paved the way for the players today to get what they're getting. So they should have a fund themselves. If they don't want to do it, if the NFL don't want to do it, there's enough wealthy NBA players, NFL players that they can establish their own players' union fund to be able to pay some of these guys that's going through all kind of health problems and things.
Yeah, especially when you see, that's almost when you see players struggling with health.
Yes,
there should just be some kind of a fund where the league can step in, if it's either basketball or football or even a baseball player, but especially football players because of this violence of the sport.
Right.
That they shouldn't pay all those bills for that player who's like either got a CTE and got the Lou Gehrig's disease. They're at a higher risk for of disease. I mean, you see these players struggling. It's like, hey, they played all those years and didn't really get paid a lot of money. And
it's sad to see like Earl Campbell.
Yeah, Earl is almost like a shell of himself. He was in a wheelchair.
Yep.
He was struggling health-wise.
Yeah.
And, you watched him play, and he played hard, and they just, like I said, hit physicality, and it just took a toll on his body.
Yeah.
No
question about that.
Yeah. And that's the part you want to see, is you want to see at least the league do something.
Right.
Well, when we come back, we're getting off that. We're going to talk a little bit of Notre Dame about to see how they screwed that up. Leave it up to the college football. They figure something, screw that up. We'll get to that and much more on the Saturday Morning Sports Page. Back after this with Pat Lucia and Dave Clark on Western Reserve Radio.
The stations that are always ahead of the game. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast. Youngstown, Ohio.
If I could be you.
And you could be me for just 1 hour.
If you could find a way.
To get inside
each other's mind.
Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
We've all felt left out. And for some, that feeling lasts more than a moment. We can change that. Learn how at belongingbeginswithus.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walk a mile in my shoes.
The Village Tavern's been a beloved local landmark in Hubbard, Ohio for nearly a century, and now it's better than ever. Recently renovated and still serving up the same warm hospitality, the Village Tavern is your go-to spot for great food, cold drinks, and a laid-back atmosphere. Whether you're stopping in for dinner, catching up with friends, or just looking to relax, you'll enjoy a full menu of American favorites, rotating drink specials, and friendly service that makes every visit memorable. Be sure to visit the Village Tavern at 746 North Main Street in Hubbard, right next to Repair That Glass. To learn more, go to villagetavern3.com.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear. Because for years, he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Saturday Morning Sports Page. Back. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark. Moving on from the whole Michigan situation. Like I said, they will find a coach probably a lot sooner. They do play, for the record, they do play Texas in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl.
I love it.
I love that. 3 p.m. on December 31st. Yep. New Year's Eve, Michigan goes to playing that in Orlando, Camping World Stadium. For those that care. Anyway, so getting out to the whole college football playoff committee and the ACC and Notre Dame not being in, getting selected. Mm-hmm. We talked about it a little bit last week. Yeah. And I know ESPN kind of led Notre Dame down the road that they were going to get in the playoffs, and then they kind of pull the rug out from under them, at least in Notre Dame's eyes, the week before. And this is where, if you're going to say where they screw this up, first of all, Notre Dame belongs to be in the Final 12. I don't think there's any debate. They belong in there. That's not. Yeah. I don't want to see James Madison in. You have Tulane in. If you want to give the underdog a shot, okay, 1 in the 12, not 2, because we're going to be subject to 2 crappy games opening round. Because, I mean, James Madison and Tulane are really not going to be that competitive in these opening rounds, and nobody's going to want to watch that. Notre Dame belongs in. Now, where we talked about it last week. However, where they screwed this thing up, first of all, the ACC I'm so critical of them. They're a basketball conference pretending to play football. I've always said that. They're not. They're of the conferences of the 4 left. It's too bad the Pac-12's not around because the Pac-12 was a better conference. I put the ACC at the bottom of the barrel, and the point is this: getting back to what happened is the ACC. Again, you have a stupid tiebreaker. Somebody needs to be like put on a light on and say, wait a minute, we need to have Virginia playing Miami in our conference final. They're the 2 highest rated team. If we had a tiebreaker, we need to put that aside because we need to use logic. We need to change the tiebreaker now, and we're going to put...
What was the tiebreaker?
Oh, they had some convoluted tiebreaker that got Duke in there playing Virginia and left Miami out. And I don't know the intricacies of the tiebreaker. All I know is
neither one of those teams. Well, Virginia did play Duke and beat them, right?
Yeah.
But Miami didn't play neither one of them.
So
yeah, you probably should go with the highest ranked team.
Right. What they needed to do to make this simple is they should have said, okay, basically, and McElroy. Is it Greg McElroy? He was on. He made the most sense Sunday morning. He brought the same thing up. He said all you needed to do is have Virginia play Miami, and the winner gets in.
Right.
You give and then you don't put James Madison in.
Right.
Then they would go in for the James Madison spot, and then Notre Dame would go into where they put Miami. So Notre Dame would be in, and all you needed to do is say to Virginia and Miami, you guys are playing. The conference is going to title game, which now means something. That's going to get the winner goes in. The loser goes to another bowl. They're out. But the winner gets in. That's all they needed to do.
Yeah.
Because you should have never had a 5-loss Duke playing in your conference final.
Well, you went with
I don't care.
And I said here, because I know when we was doing the picks, I think everybody thought I was going to pick Duke because I wanted to win. I actually did believe they. I told you.
And they did. You got it right. We got it right. Yes.
They're going to win. I said because they played the first time.
Yeah.
Duke had a bunch of turnovers, and actually, you take the turnovers away, they were right in the game against Virginia the first time. So I said, now they could have maybe beat them. I said, but this time they're not going to make all these mistakes. And that quarterback they had, I said, he's getting better and better. So I had a feeling I'm going to take the points, and it's going to be close. Well, they actually won, and I even said that too. I said, I think they're going to win. And they did win. And I said that was going to happen. I said, we're going to create some chaos. And that's exactly what happened because there's no way the committee could put Duke in and they won the conference. You put yourself in a situation in a can of worms to say, period. I mean, even if Virginia won, you put it in a situation that you got to pick between Miami and Notre Dame. Now, Notre Dame was saying on one end saying, well, they should be in there. No question, not Miami. But how are you going to say that when you lost to them?
Well, and you're right.
So it's hard to say that. I don't care when it was played. That's why I thought both teams, that's why I felt the session that Miami shouldn't get upset about, they should be in it. No, I think they should. I think both of those teams
they belong,
have a deserving to be in it.
Yeah.
Not just one or the other.
You should have put And the easiest path to do that
would have been if
Miami play Virginia.
And whoever wins in.
Whoever wins out. If Miami gets beat by Virginia,
then they out.
You're out.
I agree for them being out then.
Then you're out.
Because you shouldn't be penalized because you're playing a championship game.
Right.
And then, Miami's at home and Notre Dame's at home.
Right.
Not playing anybody. So it'd have been better put Miami in there.
Put Miami in Virginia.
Yeah, because they can't.
That's all you had to do.
They're not in the conference.
Right, not in the conference.
They're not going to have a conference game. But I do believe they need to.
But they need to get into one.
When you said that before,
right.
I agree they need to.
That's the point here.
I understand they want to make money for the car. I get that. But it's time to be in it because this was going to come. If it didn't come this year, it's going to come somewhere down the road because their schedule used to be tremendous because Stanford was good.
Yeah.
USC.
Yeah.
I mean, you had all these games you played.
I mean, in
Syracuse.
Right.
And then they'll play other great schools that you couldn't deny them from being in it because it's schedule. But this year, their schedule was not like that. Those teams weren't mainstays.
The problem is those teams weren't that good.
Right. And they beat a good Pittsburgh team. So did Miami.
And they beat USC. And that was only their two other top 25, and they lost 3 points to Miami and 1 point to Texas A&M.
See, and that's the problem I have. That they just, I don't know why they don't just get in the ACC since the rest of their programs are. But
well, right, and that's the whole problem you have with Notre Dame is they've got this relationship with the ACC. They got all the other programs in the ACC, but not football. But they play 5 games. They've got to play 5 ACC opponents.
Right.
And it so happened they didn't play very good. The 5 opponents they played weren't that good. So, I mean, that's another discussion for another day. But the bottom line is, I mean, I think Notre Dame needs to find their way into a conference.
I really always thought Big Ten.
I always thought Big Ten would make more sense.
I really don't know if they want to be in that conference.
Yeah, they may. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think at the end of the that's where they belong.
Yeah, it just makes.
See, I think it makes more sense if they are in the Big Ten because then they could play Michigan, that everybody says they should be playing because that's a big rival in the past. Then you could play. They've played Ohio State. Then you could play your Michigans and your Purdue's, and
they play them a lot of times, don't they?
Yeah, they end up playing. They played Purdue this year. They played Michigan State this year. So they are playing Big Ten teams instead of playing the ACC teams. You just get into the conference and you get in the rotation. And if they were in a conference and had their record, they would have been in.
And they actually have played. It might have been a while back though, but didn't they used to play Northwestern?
Yeah, they did.
And they used to play at Soldier Field.
Soldier Field. That was always like a big game because you get the alumni in presence. Notre Dame has a very big alumni or just fan presence. Mm-hmm. And in Chicago especially because South Bend is 50, 60 miles just east of Chicago.
Right.
So you get a lot of recruits there, but there's also the fact that you have a lot of fans in Chicago.
I mean, it just
so it makes more sense if they just get in the Big Ten because then they could play Northwestern at Soldier Field. You could play, the Wisconsin. You play Ohio State. You could play Michigan. You could actually pick, you could play the other teams, the Rutgers of the world, if so.
You get them all.
But you get Rutgers in New York, and that's a big game because Notre Dame is very popular in New York City. So they could play Rutgers at the Meadowlands and load that up. So that's not the problem. The problem is Notre Dame, because you're not in a conference, in a way, part of me thinks that the ACC or college football playoff is sending them a message by saying,
get in one.
The reason why you didn't get in this year is because you weren't in a conference.
Yeah. And that's basically what
that's really what happened.
Yeah. And I think that's what it, but I think they need to be in
and
one.
They need to be.
Because see, before, like I said before, they're out of, they didn't have a conference, but their schedule was so good. Because like I said, Stanford used to be pretty good. And you couldn't really deny. But this time it didn't work out that way.
No.
The teams weren't that good. And the teams that were looked at as being top teams, you lost to them. I don't care if it's 3, 1 point, whatever it is that you lost.
You lost.
Meaning the game was tight. It was a tight, confronted game. Even if you would have won them, it still was tight. You didn't have those signature things that you had in the past. And I just think they would be great in the conference. And I think, and not to say they couldn't win it, I still think they could win some of the, if they was in the ACC or the Big Ten, could they win either one of those conferences? They could. But it really would show the strength of our college football if you had them, and especially in the Big Ten, because that's the perfect spot for them to be in.
Yeah, that would make the most sense.
It makes the most sense. And you're talking about the Big Ten being highly rated. You just put just them in there.
Oh, yeah.
What they got, I mean, you got Oregon in there.
Now you got Oregon, USC.
Man, come on.
And then you have Notre Dame.
They
could play USC every year in the conference.
And they want to keep it going anyway.
Right, there you go. They're in the conference.
Now you got it.
You could schedule them every year.
Do you think the Big Ten would turn down Notre Dame
No.
and say,
no.
They will sign that in a New York minute?
In a second. They'd have that.
Yeah, forget the minute. Second.
No, they'd be signing that up because that would just work out perfectly for the Big Ten.
Wouldn't even be dry on the contract yet. They'd be already signing it. I mean, it'd just be perfect. It'd be perfect. You know?
And
I don't mean to be hopping on James Madison or nothing, but my idea was this. They did have a great season for a school that moved up like that. They were great in their division. They moved up. They did very good. But if I'm going to look at the two teams, Tulane has been around a long time. They have played well this year. Give them the shot this year. James Madison got to keep you out. Notre Dame's got to go. Some people saying Alabama should be out. Well, Alabama proved itself by beating Georgia in the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with Bama being
they
in. I know people do. I
I
have a problem with James Madison being in.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
Notre Dame belongs in.
Should be in there.
James Madison does not. You want to have Tulane in, fine.
I just say the one.
If you wanted to have a Tulane-Madison play-in game, fine.
That would have been okay,
That
too.
would have been fine. If they want to say, okay, this weekend, Tulane and James Madison are going to play for the play-in game for that last spot Notre Dame's in, fine with me. Because at the end of the day, if you wanted to do that, I mean, like, here's the problem.
They could have. This is the weekend, and they could have did it, right?
Yeah.
Playing game could have been
Here's
this
the problem
weekend.
I have with Tulane. They're playing Mississippi.
Yeah.
They got beat by Mississippi September 20th, 45-10.
Yeah, no.
So what are we going to be subjected to another game like this?
35-10.
Yeah, right. It'll be 35-10.
Because
okay.
I'm just taking 10 off because Lane
Yeah,
Kiffin's not there.
because Lane Kiffin's not there. Seriously.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know, so the matchup was wrong for him to be, but that's the numbers of what it came out to. But that's the problem. That's a problem that you got to have those teams play. You know, but I mean, like I said, I would just put Tulane in, and James Matt. I like the idea what you said.
Playing.
Instead of throwing them out, have a playing game.
Just sit back and say,
Just
look.
to give my idea, they should start thinking about it.
They
playing
should.
game.
I mean, put Notre Dame in, Miami's in. And then you say to James Madison and Tulane, you guys are going to play in for the last spot. The winner will play in the last spot, and then put them in the bracket as the 12 seed.
Yeah.
Whoever wins, the other losers out, but then do that.
Yeah.
And the way they should have done is they had Miami play Virginia in the ACC final and just say, whatever tiebreaker we had, we're not doing that anymore. We're taking the two highest rated teams, which would in Virginia and Miami. They're going to play in our conference championship. Then you're going to say, okay, the winner goes, the loser's out.
Only thing I won't take to that is if they was tie record, but let's say Duke beat Miami during the season.
Right.
Then Duke's go. I mean, they tie. I mean, they may be ranked higher than them, but you lost when you had them on the. But these teams did not play
No, they
each
didn't
other.
play one another.
So you got to think of a different way of tiebreaker. If they all didn't play each other, then you should do a different way. And the best way is the highest ranked team. Because the object, they said, was to get the 12 best teams in the playoffs. And if that's what you truly want to do, then that situation wouldn't have happened.
No.
But that's why it needs to be 16 or 20. Because if you got that extra, you could put your James Madison, Tulane.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is if you expand it to say 16 or 20, then you could have a couple of you have a James Madison and a Tulane in.
We don't care about somebody complaining. Well, I was ranked 21st, and I should be in instead of the other ones.
No,
come on, you're 21st. You're lucky to be in.
Yeah, I mean,
but when it's in that top 10, 12,
well, when you
gotta watch.
I mean,
that.
and here's the thing too: is if Vegas had, I believe, they got Ohio State like favored, Indiana second, and Notre Dame would have been third. If Vegas had like Notre Dame third favored to win it all, and they're out of it.
Yep.
So you're taking the third best argument if you want to use Vegas.
Yeah.
That bottom line is Notre Dame definitely should have been in.
Yeah, well, I think they definitely should have been in.
I mean, and again, it just seems to be the College Football Playoff Committee and the ACC totally screwed this thing up and kept Notre Dame out. And that's kind of how I look at it. Somebody didn't have or somebody should have just said, we're going to put Notre Dame in over James Madison. I don't care.
Well,
I mean,
that's why I say I don't think
I don't think they could do that because they're talking about a conference champion. But you should have just said, look, for the sake of the discussion here, or we're going to put Miami in over James Madison, put Notre Dame and Miami both in, but both of them deserve to be in.
Right.
Notre Dame and Miami both deserve to be in. James Madison did not.
That's what my argument was, but I didn't even argue. I just I
Right.
actually let you and Mike talk. I ain't say nothing over it because I'm not invested like that in teams. I like them, but I'm not going to be over here. Yeah, they're the best. I ain't got time for that. I don't get nothing from them. I don't get nothing from them. They don't do anything for me. They don't change anything in my life, so it's not no big deal. But the thing is, I just think both of them should have been in without question. And yes, you go ahead and put your ACC champion in, but you need to did it like you said. They should have went with the highest ranked teams playing when you had a tiebreaker. When it went to a tiebreaker, if they did not all play each other, so you could have had head-to-head point situation, then you go right to the next thing, the highest ranked teams. And once you got that, that's who plays. The other ones, so I'm sorry, you're not one of the higher ranked teams, and that's how you go about it. And then you avoid this situation. You know, on the other end, I think the playoff committee sent the message, just like you said, to let them know, Notre Dame, would you please get in a conference? And
that's what they need to do.
But they need to. I mean, I'd rather them be in a conference because really right now, the way it's set up, they dictate their schedule. They dictate everything. You know, and then it looks bad when you say I'm not playing in a bowl game because I'm upset because we weren't picked in that. But, you know, I guarantee you, guys are upset, the players, but I guarantee you, behind closed doors, you tell me that those guys won't. If they're a competitor, they wanted to play in a bowl game. They want to play in a bowl game.
They do.
They actually want to go out and play a bowl game against somebody and put something on them to show that,
hey, like almost prove a point.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but see, you know, when the guy, it makes it look like the one, who was that, Feinbaum said, they take their ball and go home. That's not a good look.
No.
You know, I'm not playing in a bowl game. Those kids deserve to still be able to play in a game of top caliber. And they wasn't going to put them against, you know, the Little Sisters of Poor. They would have been playing against a top-notch team in a bowl game. You know, you got Michigan and Texas. I wouldn't have been surprised if Notre Dame would have accepted a bowl bid. It would have been them in Texas playing.
Yeah.
Because two teams that's not in.
Yeah.
Texas was playing good at the end.
Yeah, Texas is playing good.
They would have been a perfect match.
That would have actually That would have actually been a better match.
Oh, that'd be a perfect match outside of that playoff rim, just to show, hey, both of us should have been in this thing. But they chose not to take the thing. I think that's a disfavor to the kids. You know, it's no way I would have wanted to do that.
No, I
would have wanted.
Right.
They might even win.
Now,
supposedly,
supposedly, the players did not want to play.
Yeah. I didn't see that. I didn't been a part of situations like that. I ain't playing in that.
The players didn't want to play because they were upset because the coach came out, head coach of Notre Dame, Freeman came out and said the players have decided not to play.
Right.
We as a coaching staff, we left it up to them.
Right.
If they wanted to play, we're all in. They said to us, we don't want to play. I'm going to let my players make the call.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't any nudging.
Yeah,
because it's just a competitive.
Yeah.
Now, do I believe that they say they don't want to play? Yeah, I do believe that because when you're upset, the first thing that comes to your mind is what's going to come out.
Yep. And I think that's a good point.
I'm done. No, I don't want to play.
That's a good point.
I don't want to be a part of this. Now, you take a week past, now it settles in. You know you're not playing. You can't. I want another game to play. I want to still be on the stage. I still want to be on the big stage. That's just the competitive. I can't see all those players saying, nope, I don't want to play. I'm good with it. And really feel that deep in their heart.
And now that it's gone, right.
Not a competitive person. I can't, no way. I can't believe that for a minute.
Let's slide a little bit over to the NFL, which we love to talk about.
Boy, those was playoff games we've been seeing. These are playoffs. These is mini playoffs.
These games, this is going to be a great weekend. They're all going to be great weekends leading between now and then because there's just so much going on. But let me ask you this, Dave Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Last weekend, the L.A. Las Vegas Raiders, who we like to call L.A. Raiders, but they were playing Denver, and the Raiders had the ball. The point spread happened to be 7 and a hook.
Yeah. This is weird. Go ahead.
So, you know where I'm headed. So, Raiders get the ball. They got it like a second left on the clock. And so Pete Carroll decides to kick a field goal. And so I believe the score was 30. He kicks the field goal, makes it 31-24. They lost, but they lost by 7. So all the people and nobody was really, if you watched the betting, nobody was betting Raiders because the Raiders weren't even covering. They're terrible. They're a horrible team. They stink. So everybody was obviously they were taking the Broncos. Well, they lost because Carroll kicks the field goal with no time left, or the Raiders kicked the field goal. And if you bet, we got that wrong because we went with the Broncos, so we didn't bet any money. We just have our pride on the line, which is totally in the toilet this year. But the point is, so bottom line is, you bet Denver, which everybody did. All the money was on Denver. You lost.
That's right.
Because Pete Carroll decides in his infamous wisdom, he's going to kick a field goal to basically have the Broncos not cover.
Yep.
And the funny part was nobody asked him that question. Like, well, Pete, why were you kicking the field goal when it meant nothing? Like, you lost. You were going to lose that game. Why did you kick a field goal to make it 7?
Well,
and everybody now is like going, here's the problem you have with the NFL and all these sport people, sport, football, everybody's in bed with these gambling sites, FanDuel, blah, blah. This is the problem you have from an appearance. People are going, what the hell is going on here? Like, what is he? Is he like? Did he have money on the game, or did he know did he have people that had money on the game?
Probably. Now he might knew something.
And he knew something, and he just did this. And
even if he didn't, it make it look that way.
Carroll was sticking it to the gamblers because he goes,
that too.
I bet you, nobody. He goes, I know nobody bet Raiders and took the Raiders. Everybody was taking the Broncos.
Stick it to you.
And yeah. And
so
Carroll was getting back at all of the bettors out there and saying that, okay, I'm gonna show you people.
Yep. Now, only thing different.
Showing you.
Carroll ain't gonna say anything.
I'm showing you people.
If that was Mike Ditka said, they'll say, "What did you do?" I made sure the better.
Right.
He'd have came
well,
out. Well,
Ditka would say that.
That's what I'm saying. He'll say it.
Ditka just say, "I wanted to prove all. I wanted to get back at all you people that were betting against us. Ha ha."
Lost your money.
You lost your money this week because we weren't covering any week. Well, guess what? We covered, or Denver didn't cover. But then everybody betting against the Raiders week in and week out lost this week because I kicked the field goal and the spread was 7.5. So you lost by the hook or the 7.
And some got weird too because I watched Raider games and they be playing hard. Then all of a sudden, don't look like they playing hard. And then I'm reading articles about them getting the first pick and how they can get the first pick. So I said, I wonder if these guys are they compete hard enough to make it look okay, presentable. We got to keep losing.
Because we want that number 1 pick.
Yeah. And I believe it. They're going to get, because you got to get rid of Geno. Matter of fact, Kenny Pickett's starting this week. So, Geno has been a disaster this year. So, he needs to go somewhere else. Maybe he could pick that game back up. But he's a lost cause in Las Vegas because even the fans are done with him. So, he has to go. So they got to bring a new guy in there.
I think if you start looking at projecting ahead to one of our favorite days of the season, we got to bring in the tape of the OJs and the backstabbers because that's where you're going to have as we always like to talk, it's called Black Monday where they fire everybody.
I'm wondering if Pete Carroll will get fired or will they keep him?
And I don't know if they know the roster is so deficient that it's not Carroll's fault or they're going to just start all over and bring in a new guy.
And that's possible. That is possible. They could do that and see what happened, but we know something's going to happen. Oh.
Okay. That's it. That's the third quarter. We have overtime today, so a lot left. We're halfway through the show, Dave Clark. Saturday Morning Sports Page. Back after this. Pat Lucia, Dave Clark on Western Reserve Radio.
Are you ready to join the legacy? This is your chance to become part of something special with the Youngstown Patricians. Honoring the proud football tradition of the Valley, we're on the lookout for talented post-high school athletes who want to make their mark on the field. Whether you're a seasoned high school athlete, college, or former professional player, develop your skills and become part of a team that values hard work, dedication, and community spirit. Don't wait. Begin your path to the gridiron by visiting youngstownpat.com or contacting us on Facebook at the Youngstown Patricians. Be bold, be legendary, join the Youngstown Patricians today.
Here's a fun fact for you. The average chameleon can point their eyes in 2 different directions. On the other hand, the average human can't. So unless you're a chameleon, there's absolutely no way you can focus on texting and driving at the same time. So don't do it, unless you're a chameleon.
Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/our stories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
I'm getting older. Do I need to worry about falling?
Yes, you do. Each year, 1 in 4 people 65 and older will experience a fall, and many will be serious. The majority of falls happen at home, so remove things that could make you trip and install handrails to keep you steady. To learn more about the steps you can take to help prevent a fall, please talk to your doctor. You can also visit aarpfoundation.org or medicaremadeclear.com/falls. This message was brought to you by United Healthcare and AARP Foundation.
Saturday Morning Sports Page right back at you, 330-707-4202. Just so the opening round of the college football playoff, this Friday night kicks it off. Next Friday night is Alabama's at Oklahoma. And that's 1.5 points. Bama's getting Oklahoma's a home dog getting 1.5 points. And then next Saturday night, or next Saturday, I don't know why they did this. They have Miami playing Texas A&M at noon. Why they did that, why they didn't put them on at 7:30, I'll never know. We're going to get James Madison in Oregon at 7:30, and then 3:30 is Tulane and Ole Miss.
Where's okay, wait a minute.
Miami's at Texas A&M. That's the noon game on Saturday. We'll do that next. We'll pick that next Saturday.
Right.
And then 3:30 is Tulane at Ole Miss. That's the game on TNT, HBO Max, and True TV. That's that game.
What time is that game?
3:30.
3:30.
And then 7:30, that what follows that game also, which is on TNT, HBO Max, and True TV, is James Madison in Oregon.
Yeah.
That's the 7:30 game.
I understand that being the last game.
Because it's at Oregon.
Right. It's 3-hour difference. So,
well, why didn't
have that in the evening.
Why didn't they put, Old Miss they could have put on at noon, but that would be, is Old Miss an hour behind us?
Yeah.
So that would have been at 11. They don't want to do that. But, they're doing it now anyway, because Texas A&M is at noon. That's an hour behind us.
Is it an hour or two?
At 1.
1 hour.
So they're playing that at 11 o'clock in Texas. Why? Here, again, leave it up to the leave it up to the NCAA or whoever you want, the college football committee, or even these scheduling people. You don't look.
Yeah, either one would be.
Why don't you?
But you'd rather have that game second than who's Ole Miss playing?
Tulane.
Yeah, you want that.
This is what you should have done. They can't even get the schedule right. Okay, what they should have done is you take the Tulane and Ole Miss game and put that on at noon. Okay, because you got Texas A&M on, so they're playing at 11 o'clock in Texas. Just play at 11 o'clock in Ole Miss and take Tulane playing Ole Miss at noon. Then you take James Madison in Oregon and put them on at 3:30 because at least that's 12 o'clock out there. Then you leave Miami at Texas A&M for prime time because of these four matchups. Okay, Oklahoma and Alabama play Friday night at prime time. I get that. But you take Miami and Texas A&M and stick them on prime time. You put Oregon on at 3:30 and Madison on at 3:30.
Yeah, then that's still noon out there.
It's noon out there. They do it all the time.
Yeah.
So put James Madison and Oregon on at 3:30, which is 12:30 out there, and you stick the Tulane Ole Miss game, which is again a repeat of the 45-10 blowout. Put that on at noon.
Well, in my
opinion, and then you put Miami and Texas A&M on prime time.
Well, I would have took the Tulane and who did you say they played?
Ole Miss.
I would have played them Friday. Flipped Alabama.
Oh
Oklahoma
I agree.
Saturday.
And put them Saturday. Yeah, and I agree with that. Yeah, I would go that way. You could put Alabama, Oklahoma on prime time.
Yep.
And then you you could put the Tulane Ole Miss, or go better, put James Madison in Oregon on Friday night at 8. And then you turn around and you stick the Tulane Ole Miss at noon, and then you put Miami, Texas A&M on, say, at 3:30, and then put Alabama, Oklahoma on at 7:30.
Yep. And if you don't want that, you can flip either one of them.
Right, you could flip either one. Yeah. But the point on it is you should have at least had Miami, if under the confines of this system, since you're obviously going to go with Alabama to Oklahoma to open it up on Friday. Okay, I get that. But you put Miami and Texas A&M on at 7:30 at night. That's a matchup. Everybody's going to watch that. Don't put them on at noon. Yeah. And then you're going to give us James Madison and Oregon at 7:30?
Yeah. You know, it'd be
funny. Is the NFL got games on? I got to look. I got to look. I think they do.
Is James Madison? When does James Madison beat Oregon? Wonder if that happened.
Well, it's 21, yeah. And
yeah, 21 points.
21 and a half, and then Mississippi 17 and a half, double digit, because you idiots put in James Madison and not Notre Dame. So again, at the bottom line is, all right, I could see Tulane being in for whatever reason you want to call it. You want to put one of the teams, but don't give us two.
Yeah.
Now you got two teams with double digit.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, like you said, what chance is James Madison going out to Oregon?
I can't see him, but that's the only, at least if you have one game, one of those Cinderella moments.
All right, you want a Cinderella moment, have one of them, not two of them.
Yeah. I mean, you can't, well, especially not have two of them when the two teams done played before. That's the thing.
That's the thing, too.
Yeah.
I mean, if
they
why didn't they put James? Else? Why don't you have James Madison play Mississippi and Tulane play Oregon?
Yes.
At least so we're not subject to the same game.
You've already seen that. That's what I'm saying. You're looking over that committee. You got to look.
45-10.
This is not good. I mean, that would tell you this is not good. But I say they were sending a message.
Oh, yeah. I agree with you.
When you was talking about that, that is exactly what they was doing. The playoff committee is sending a message that you need to get in the conference. And one guy even said it. You seen him on ESPN. He even said it. He said, "There's no question."
Oh, I don't doubt it.
It had nothing to do with any conference. Said this, that. It's that committee is saying, make our job simpler by being in a conference.
No, you're right.
Because see, they could sit home and wait. If their schedule was even tougher, they could just sit there and don't have the big pressure of playing a game, a conference game, championship.
Okay. Now, I answered my own question. You know why they didn't do that? You know why they didn't put them on prime? The reason why they didn't put Miami and Texas A&M on prime time, do you know why? Because, okay, at 8:20 on Saturday,
it's an NFL game, isn't it?
NFL Fox game, Green Bay at Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
That's the Saturday night game.
Gonna be,
hello.
NFL is going to beat you anyway.
NFL's now the NFL is going to destroy you. And then the 5 o'clock game now means a lot if you're a Philadelphia Eagle fan, because at 5 o'clock, the Eagles play at Washington, which was a game that people were going, I won't mean anything. No, with the Eagles falling off the proverbial cliff like they have, now Dallas has a shot at winning that division. Philadelphia, I believe, needs to win 2 more games to seal it.
I have no confidence in Dallas.
And I don't have any, but I don't have any, I'm losing confidence in Philadelphia too.
Well, all they got to do, they could both lose.
And they could dump right. And that's how I look at it. So if you're a fan of football, of NFL football, which I like NFL better than college, it's Ohio State. But if you were to say to me, what are you going to do next Saturday night, December 20th? I'll tell you the game I am going to watch.
Well, I know Green Bay and Chicago is going to be great.
And that's why and that's what I mean. That's why they knew. That's why they didn't stick Miami and Texas A&M on at 8 o'clock or 7:30, because they're going up right against Green Bay and Chicago, and you know who most people are watching Green Bay at Chicago.
Yeah. And I'm talking about,
because that's a big game. That's going to really dictate potentially that division.
That usually gets great ratings,
and that gets in anyway. Now, when they don't have now you have a lot on the line.
Yeah, no.
Because Green Bay is going to be fighting for that division title. Chicago is going to be also fighting for the division title. Yeah. So that's going to be an all-out war on next Saturday night at 8:20. Philadelphia at Washington now means a lot, because Philadelphia needs to start winning games, because they've fallen off the cliff. They've been losing games left and right, where they lost at least 3 in a row.
Yep.
And now they're going to be, obviously, they've got a game. We'll get to the game this weekend, but next weekend.
It's just shocking that I've seen there 90%. You know how they give you 93% to make the playoffs. I said, how could it? But they looking at the percentage of how Dow's been playing them. They said they probably could both be losing, and they'll just be by default.
Well, then that's a good point. They ultimately might win the division and back into it.
Now, I don't know. They play somebody good I don't know who they play. They got a decent game.
The Raiders. They got the Raiders.
What I'm talking about?
The Cowboys.
Not this week. Next week. Next week is
the Cowboys have the Vikings at Sunday night. It's the Vikings at the Cowboys, and then the Raiders are at the Eagles.
Right.
So, but the way that I know we laugh, but I don't have any faith in the Eagles beating the Raiders.
Well, I got faith in beating them. But
they should.
They should. I mean,
but do you have enough faith here? And here's
I do against the Raiders.
Now, do you have enough? Scoring. Can I ask you?
They can't score.
Here,
Washington can.
My question to you, Dave Clark, of the day is: do you have 12.5 points? Because that's the spread.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Right. Do you have that? I guess my question is, do you have that much faith that they're going to cover the spread?
The way the Raiders been playing, yeah, but I'm wondering how they're going to play with Kenny Pickett starting. He's starting this week.
It's Pickett starting,
yeah,
okay.
Pickett is starting, so can he inject some juice? He could, and if he does, they're not covering.
Well, he's playing against his old team, the Eagles, so you just don't, and the way
he might inject some juice, because the people don't like Geno at all.
No, I know.
So he might inject some juice, and they'd be able to score enough
to cover
again.
But the way the Eagles are playing, they're playing so terrible. Jalen Hurts.
One half of the team is playing terrible.
Right. Jalen Hurts, and that offense is just putrid.
Now, that was his worst game ever. So you look at him playing like that in that one game. Now, I don't think he's going to play like that again. But regardless, the offense is bad. I don't know what's wrong with it. The offensive line is terrible. All that. So they just not in continuity. But the defense is fine, but you can't be out there all day. So if you got to play in a team that don't impose a lot of offensive will, I'm okay with it. But I don't know what the Raiders going to be like with Kenny Pickett. There might be and if they get a little bit of juice, you got to almost take the 12 and a half.
And I mean, and that's what it is. I mean we got some heavy spreads this week. We're going to get to these games.
Detroit in
the we've got the Jets at the Jags 13.5. You got Cardinals at the Texans 9.5. You've got the Titans at the 49ers 12.5. Colts at Seahawks 13.5. Phillip Rivers has probably got to start for the Colts, I believe.
And it's something they went out and got him. But you know what? That's one quarterback I've always liked. Now,
yeah,
I don't know what he got, but that guy is energetic. He talks trash.
He does.
And
he's got a lot of kids.
Yeah,
he's a grandfather too.
I know.
He's got
grandpa playing.
He's got grandpa playing.
But you go ahead and get him out here because Riley Leonard. I'm not saying he's bad. But
no, he's got a bad knee.
He's got he can't.
Now
play.
he's got a bad knee too. Richardson's got that. He had that accident where he was with the band.
Yeah.
It fractured his orbital bone.
Yeah.
And he hasn't been cleared to play yet.
Yeah.
So he can't even play. He's not even cleared. So you've got him out, and obviously Daniel Jones gone with the Achilles gone for the year. And so they're waiting.
I had bad feelings about when he got the fibula.
Right, and he was trying to play with that.
I said, this is going to cost something else.
And
it
did. It did.
He ended up about it.
Sure. He had a crack in the fibula, and he was playing, and he shouldn't have been really, but he played with it, and then he didn't even get hit.
No.
He just moved like, he was moving in the pocket, that all of a sudden he crumpled down.
Boy, he was mad. I felt bad for him.
I did too.
Because what a season
he was having a good season. Yeah.
He was having a great season. Then he started having them, man. So they trying to revive it, and hey, I can't blame him for going to Rivers.
I don't blame him from going to Rivers because Rivers knows the system, he knows the coach, and he's even though he hasn't played in 5 years, but he knows, and he says he's been staying in shape. Although he said
he should be with all them kids.
He said those kids got to keep him running around. There's
right.
12 kids.
Yeah,
I
so more than that. But
I got to ask. I have to look that up. But he and who's the running back in Seattle who retired? Played for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Alexander.
Yeah.
Sean Alexander. He and his wife
played for Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah.
He and his wife have they've got 12 or 14 kids. He's up there.
It would have been more than that. I think one or two passed.
Because at birth, right?
Yeah,
but he had more.
Yeah, but it's up there,
right? Sean Alexander
had one not too long ago. Sean Alexander,
right,
and his wife. Not that long ago, they had another one.
They have another one. Yeah.
I was reading that. I remember.
Right, because he and Phillip Rivers are competing.
They could put their kids together.
Oh my God!
And have a little league team.
They could. Phillip Rivers and Sean Alexander could get their kids together, and you could actually put.
They had almost 30 people on their team.
Yeah, you could.
That's crazy. Just their families.
Just their families alone.
Woo wee.
Here, Phillip Rivers' kids. According to this, Phillip Rivers has 10 children, 7 daughters and 3 sons.
Wow.
This is what he's got. And
Sean Alexander.
He's got the oldest daughter has a child, is married with a child. So he's got a grandson, a grandchild.
A grandson, yeah.
Yeah. And the youngest son is Andrew. The oldest is Hallie. She's married with a daughter, with a grandchild. So he's got he's got a family size of 10 kids, making them a family of 12 plus a grandchild. And he became a grandfather late in 2024 when his Hallie, his daughter, had a baby boy.
Wow.
So Phillip Rivers is a
He got 10 kids, and Sean Alexander, he definitely had more than 10.
I gotta look him up, man. Yeah, because he's got.
He's got more than 10.
He and his wife have a boatload. Well, Sean Alexander's older then too, because he's a little bit older than Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, he should be about maybe 50.
He's born in 1977, so he is 48.
Wow. Wow, not that much. I thought
but
he was
he's
older
not
than
that much older than
4 years
Phillip
older.
Rivers. He's only 4 years older.
Right.
Yes, you are correct, Dave Clark. Sean Alexander and his wife, Valerie, have a large family of 13, with a 14th on the way. He had one, sadly, tragically, his 9th child would be Torah, passed away shortly after birth. It says their children have unique names, many with biblical and spiritual themes. And they often appear with their dad at events showcasing their active lives in sports and other activities. So Sean Alexander, obviously a very active father, so is with their children.
They
You've
are
got
active.
to, man. Yeah. I mean, that's just got to be
super active.
Super active.
24 kids between them two.
And he's due, his wife is due the 14th child in early 2026. That would be the 14th child. And he had one of the child pass. Torah died deceased, so right after birth. So he's got 13, and then he would have a 14th. So he and Phillip Rivers have 24. Well, I guess with the one deceased one, but there's 23 kids. You're right. They could get together. That's a football team. They could put us.
God.
Gosh, that's great.
God bless them.
Yeah, they show pictures of Sean Alexander with all the kids. I mean, they're just.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. He's playing. We got to talk about that. That's always a good thing. With Phillip Rivers now playing, he's the grandfather. He stands. You see, Rivers said they asked him about his weight, and he was laughing. And one of the press guys goes, well, "How much do you weigh, Phil?" He goes, "I don't know." He goes, "What do you mean you don't know?" He goes, "I don't know how much I weigh." He goes, "But I don't have to worry about it because I'm not going anywhere on that field. I don't like move around. I throw the ball. Like I'm not like scrambling and I'm not running for first downs. No. I stand back and I look and I throw the ball. So I'm not like."
That's what he said.
Yeah, he goes, I don't have to worry because I'm not like doing a lot of moving around back there. I'm moving around a little bit to get the pocket, but the ball's coming out.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's unbelievable though. All right.
Oh my gosh.
The Colts. Who do they play this week?
Oh,
Jacksonville?
The Colts are playing.
They lost.
We just talked about that. They're playing the Seahawks.
Oh God.
At Seattle.
Woo. They play Thursday night. They could be looking past.
Thursday night.
They play the Rams.
We got a great Thursday night game, by the way.
Don't they play the Rams?
The Rams in Seattle are Thursday night.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the games of the year. Let's hit the phones and get Irish Mike. Saturday Morning Sports Page, what's up?
I want to commend the selection committee, for doing such a horrible, pathetic, rotten job.
Well, we already.
Can you screw it up anymore? No. I mean, I think we all agree this is the worst committee we've had in 20 years on whether we've had 4 teams or 12 teams. I mean, come on, seriously.
Well, we've come to the conclusion, and I don't know if you could say intentionally did it, but they basically are telling Notre Dame, you got to get into a conference because we're going to screw you over.
Yeah, I would. Now, beginning next year, as long as Notre Dame's in the top 12, they're automatically in.
Right.
That's the agreement they made. So next year won't be an issue for them. But this all stems on, we all know what this stems on, one school, the Alabama Crimson Tide. Okay?
No, you see, wait a minute. No. We don't, here's where we don't agree. No. This is the This is the ACC. We're getting James Madison and Tulane. One of those teams do not belong. You need to put Notre Dame in and not James Madison. This was too damn easy. Yep. All you needed to do, forget Alabama. All you needed to do is put Miami and Virginia in your conference final. Forget your stupid tiebreakers. Just change it and say we're going to put Miami, Virginia. They play off, the winner's in, and Notre Dame is in, and James Madison is nowhere near this place. Forget the Alabamas and all those other teams.
This is the question I got.
So
Do you think Alabama?
You You wanted the ACC championship game last week to be Miami and Virginia. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, Miami and Virginia.
Because
the winner gets in.
They didn't all play. That's why I was quiet
Right.
when you was talking about
it's not
why was Miami
right.
people getting
no,
upset. Yeah, they got every
it's
right.
It's not Miami. Right.
So did Notre Dame. They
right.
both should be in.
They both should be in, and Alabama belongs in. Yep. But then James Madison does not belong in this tournament. What is wrong with these people? We're getting two crappy games next Saturday that nobody cares about.
Let's say we say we kick Alabama out.
Let's just say go ahead.
And you put Notre Dame in for Alabama. Same situation.
We still got the same crappy teams.
Two teams.
Right.
No way you can tell me James Madison
is better than Alabama. No.
Neither one of them.
Right.
So Alabama took care of Georgia.
Let Alabama in.
Alabama took
I have
care
no
of Georgia.
problem with that.
They beat them. Do you think they were going to beat them again? I never thought they would beat them again.
No, I didn't either.
Not a couple weeks later.
Not that bad though, Dave. They looked bad.
They did. They didn't play good. But
what encouragement did they have?
But
it's a lot of
again.
things.
We don't want to see James Madison in this tournament. You're going to give us Tulane. All right, or like I said earlier, let James Madison and Tulane play in for the last spot. Okay.
So you're saying, Pat Lucia, next Saturday, the 3:30 game and 7:30 game involves James Madison and Tulane. You think the TV ratings are going to be very poor for both those games?
Yeah, and they're up against the NFL games. They're going to stink because you got two NFL games, 5 o'clock. You got Washington and Philadelphia. Now means something because Philadelphia can't beat anybody. So Washington can knock them out, which they would love to do. And then the game next Saturday night game is Green Bay and Chicago. Who the hell's going to care about Oregon playing James Madison?
Good point.
It's college football. They're gonna watch it, but they're never gonna. I don't care who they is. They're not beating out the NFL.
No, they're not. They're not beating the NFL. That's why they put Miami playing Texas A&M at noon. Because we were saying, well, why didn't they put Miami and Texas A&M on prime time? Yeah. Because they're gonna get their butt handed to them.
Yeah, right.
That's a great point.
And that's a very good highlighted game. But why would you want to do that against the NFL?
No, you're not. You're not going
down in Texas. That's 11 a.m. start down in Texas.
I know.
And that's right. About. We talked about. We thought maybe before we looked at the NFL schedule, we were saying they should have put Miami and Texas A&M on prime time.
Yep.
And they put Oregon on at 3:30, and then put Mississippi and Tulane on at noon. But then we looked at the NFL schedule. We answered our own question. Because ultimately, Green Bay and Chicago now basically playing for that's got so many implications on it. People are going to tune into that game. They're not going to watch they're not watching the James Madison playing Oregon game at 7:30.
They got to think about it. They're not going to expand the actual playoff thing. Why not have one or two playing games? Because this is the weekend. There's no games.
Right.
Except the Army Navy.
Right. This should have been the James Madison playing Tulane for that last spot with Notre Dame, Miami, all those teams in.
Because they're Power 5. So you get those in there, all of them.
Right.
And then you're at large guys that are good. Get them in there.
Right.
And then you get them to have a chance to get in the
right. Then open up the window for the Cinderella team.
Just look at the NCAA basketball
right.
and use that as an example and get those teams
let Tulane, they should call it the Cinderella spot and have Tulane and Madison play for the Cinderella opening.
And I'm going to tell you, that would be a good game.
Right.
And Pat, you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, I think the agenda, I'm going to use the word agenda, of the people on ABC/ESPN, all those commentators, the Paul Feinbaums, the Greg McElroys, all those guys, their agenda is to try to push Notre Dame into a conference. But my answer is we had 5 teams make the Final 12 that did not play in their conference championship game. Oregon did not, Texas A&M did not, Ole Miss did not, Oklahoma did not, Miami did not.
Right.
So this idea, you got to be in a conference, that's just an agenda.
Yeah, it is. They want Notre Dame in a conference because BYU got into a conference finally, and I know that's where they're going to push them. But that aside, Notre Dame, Vegas had third for
yes.
Ohio State, Indiana, and Notre Dame were that 1, 2, and 3 odds to win the national title. Hold on, Irish Mike. That's timeout. Back after this, Pat Lucia, Dave Clark, Western Reserve Radio.
Discount Power Sports at 778 North Main Street in Hubbard is hosting a raffle for a 125cc Pentora ATV. Tickets are $30 each, and 100 tickets are available.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem Sports Talk is on the iMedia1 network. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear, because for years he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Are you ready to hit the gridiron and make your mark? The Cleveland Cobras are recruiting players and coaches for the upcoming Premier Amateur Football League season. We're looking for passion, grit, and the relentless drive to win. Whether you're a seasoned vet or hungry rookie, your shot starts now. Join a brotherhood, build a legacy, strike with the Cobras. Follow us on Facebook at Cleveland Cobras Football, or for league information, visit PAFLfootball.com to get started today. Team Pride Cobras.
All right. Saturday morning sports page coming back at you. Let's get Irish Mike back in. Hey, Irish Mike.
Hi, Pat. Hi, Dave.
Good.
The other thing, for years, always I heard, guys, the last decade or so, we want the best teams in the playoffs. We want the best teams. We want the best. That's all I heard from all these guys on ABC, ESPN, and Fox. And then getting back to Alabama, forget about whether James Madison Tulane, but Alabama was protected, guys. You know it.
Well,
I
yeah.
know it. They
that,
went out of their way to protect them.
Because
they lost the conference championship game. And think about it. They didn't move down one spot. That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
because here's the answer. If you move Alabama down one spot, because Notre Dame only had one team play last week that had any significance. That was Boise State last Friday.
Right.
And Boise State beat UNLV, and they won their conference championship. And Notre Dame beat Boise in early October, so that's another check mark in Notre Dame's column. Miami had nobody that played last weekend that would help them or hurt them. Nothing. Zero.
Nothing.
So anything we knew Tuesday, we knew Sunday.
Right.
So if they move Alabama, if they flip-flop Notre Dame and Alabama, the committee then has to choose between Alabama and Miami, who's that last spot is. And they did not want to do that because they would have a commissioner up their tail real quick, right? Whether it be the ACC or Greg Sharkey. Because Ohio State lost in the last 3 minutes of the game. They moved down one spot.
Right.
BYU moved down one or two spots. In the last 5 years, we've had 20 conference championship games, and 19 losers have moved down at least 1, 2, 3 spots after losing a conference championship.
Right.
The only one never did in 5 years was Alabama.
Right.
And there was a reason for that.
Well, there's a lot.
They wanted to protect Alabama.
Right, because they feel. I think part of it was they they screwed up last year by putting SMU in over Alabama, and they weren't going to screw Alabama because that blew up in their face because SMU played Penn State or didn't play Penn State. It was a terrible game. And people said, well, if you would have put Alabama in, at least we would have had a better matchup. No.
I think, Lucia, you're being too nice to them. We're picturing Alabama with Nick Saban as coach.
Yeah, I know.
Nick Saban's not walking through that door anymore.
They're flawed, but the thing is, what helps Alabama is they play in the SEC. They did beat Georgia in the regular season. They only had 2 losses in the best conference. Right. So, I mean, the committee, and they screwed them last year, so they weren't going to screw them again this year. But what the committee ultimately did is they screwed Notre Dame this year.
Correct.
And
I still say Alabama.
Right, and
Everyone talked about week 1, though, Pat. Everyone talked about week 1. Notre Dame lost to Miami head-to-head.
Right.
And I get that, and I have no problem with Miami.
Right.
What I have a problem with, who did Alabama play week 1? They played Florida State, a team that finished 5-7.
Yeah, they got beat.
They got beat by 2 touchdowns.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I see the thing that I go back to is I know what you're saying about Bama, but I don't have a problem because at the end of the day, we don't want James Madison in. I don't mind if Alabama's in. I wanted Notre Dame in, not James Madison. Because I want to see the best teams play.
And then if I'm on the committee and I'm looking at these games and they say, okay, Tulane plays Ole Miss. Or they played during the regular season. Get them out. And let James Madison be. One of them got to go.
Right. One of the 2 had to go. Madison or Tulane. I don't care which one went, but I didn't want Notre Dame out because Notre Dame was the 3rd favorite team.
It would have been James Madison out because Tulane won their conference.
Right. Okay.
They automatically take 5 conference winners.
And what was James Madison? At large?
Yeah, that was at large. Correct.
No, so they out.
Right.
Should have been out. Just like I said at first.
They had to take a Power 5 school. They had to take a Power. By the contract, they did what they had to do. They had to take Tulane and James Madison.
That's
because that's right.
But they could have got away from that if they put Miami and Virginia in the ACC, because that solves your problem there. Then that way the winner goes.
For 2 weeks, ACC was lobbying behind Notre Dame's back. People say, why did they skip the bowl game? Here's why they skipped, because I'm a 24/7 Notre Dame guy, and they skipped the bowl game because for 2.5 weeks the ACC was lobbying against Notre Dame heavily. They head-to-head with Miami, and they wanted to get 2 teams in. So they were sending out emails to other schools saying, well, we want to stick to Notre Dame. And remember, they're a conference member in every sport, right? For all their other sports are in the ACC, other 24 sports. And so when they did not get in, this is 2 things why they did not go to the bowl game. 1, they want to get back to the ACC. This is revenge on the ACC conference. And 2, it's revenge against ESPN.
Yeah.
They thought ESPN for 2.5 weeks went on the air every night, everyone the commentator, and pounded Notre Dame. And if they go to that Orlando game and play in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, the city of Orlando is going to lose a lot of money by Notre Dame not coming. But ESPN would make $15 to $20 million out that game. So they blew a lot of money in their campaign against Notre Dame.
They said they cost them $35 million.
Who's in that game?
Correct. And they did. So when people say, why did Notre Dame skip the bowl game? The players didn't want to play, first of all, because guys are going to opt out for the NFL, Jeremiah Love and Jadarius.
Yeah, they're not playing anyway.
Other younger players are going to go to the portal, and they don't want to get hurt for their new school when they enter the portal in early January. So they don't want to get hurt in practice of the game. So they don't want to play either. So you're talking 25 guys, 30 guys that wouldn't play in the game. So at the end of the day, this was against the ACC and this was against ESPN because they felt like for 3 weeks all those commentators got on all their shows night after night after night, and they pounded Notre Dame. Paul Feinbaum, Greg McElroy, Kirk Herbstreit, and they felt like it was done on purpose.
Yeah, and you're right because it's Georgia Tech playing, and Georgia Tech's playing BYU. That was where Notre Dame was supposed to play.
Correct.
So they would have been playing who?
BYU.
They would have been playing BYU.
They wanted to have Notre Dame and BYU play one another because they were technically the last 2 teams out.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
That's the theory, and Notre Dame said no.
Notre Dame declined the bid.
And because what Freeman said the players didn't want to play. He said he said that the players voted not to play.
This was player driven, 100%. This was.
He said he wasn't. He said because before people,
it's
jump.
What we talking about earlier,
right?
The players are different than years ago,
right?
They ain't hard.
It's just
like
different.
That.
It's a different.
I'm sit out.
And
load
it's a bowl game means
Right. every school, Dave and Pat, any bowl game coming up in late December, kids that are going to go to the
They're not going to play.
They're not going to play.
Yeah,
like how many Michigan kids are going to play in that Citrus Bowl?
They'll probably miss 15 to 20 guys.
At least 20 guys, at least, if not more, depending on.
Let me ask you this, are bowl games old and outdated now?
Well, they are running, and that's what's going to happen. I think if they expand the college playoffs, I think these bowls we think they're going to go away, but I think they generate enough revenue and interest they'll always be here. I think you're always going to have a Pop-Tart Bowl and a Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl.
Is that the name of it now?
Yeah, it's the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, and it's Penn State is playing Clemson at noon.
Oh, God.
And that's on Saturday, December 27th. Penn State is playing Clemson at the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl in Yankee Stadium.
I love it.
Here you go.
It's generating money for ESPN because of the TV ratings. People still bet on it, right? Now
they're going to do that.
Oh, they're all going to bet on it. That's why they never get rid of the bowls, because people will bet.
Right. The biggest information is who's not playing, who's
Right.
opting out, right?
But people will bet.
Money, yeah,
Here,
they betting. Money,
no matter what, you have
money
to.
involved.
We need to understand in this society of ours, there's pretty much a lot of people that, if you want to say they're addicted to gambling, you like to gamble. I don't know how you want to coin it, but everybody likes to bet. A lot of people, I should say everybody, a lot of people like to bet. Yeah. And as long as you have these bowl games and people will bet, they will survive, because they're going to get ratings. People will watch them, but people will bet on them. And and I will go on record, the bowls are not going away. Even though you might expand that playoff, you're still going to have bad.
Lost Irish Mike.
We lost Irish Mike there. But you're always going to have the Bad Boys mower, Dave Clark.
Yep.
Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. They got the Surf Pros First Responders Bowl. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Mike. Sorry, Irish Mike had to go. He had stuff going on in the background. I could tell. He's like, but he wanted to call in. Anyway, we didn't get his picks. We'll do those. There's only really 2 games to pick on college, Army, Navy, and then we'll do the Oklahoma game. I'll send it to Irish Mikey. Anyway.
There's something just flashed across here. 2 things.
Yes.
Latest news.
Yes.
Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
With the possibility of coming back to the NFL.
Okay.
If Arthur Blank, after Raheem Morris really got his team to come back and win that game.
Yeah. We didn't get talk. We got to get to that. Yes.
He came back and won that game. If he's replaced, there's a possibility that Bill Belichick might come to the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, really?
And also, latest news, the New York Giants is after Marcus Freeman.
They are after him.
Yes.
I heard that.
Yep.
I heard that yesterday. Yep. I heard that Marcus Freeman's name has now entered into the Giant picture.
Yep. It's in there.
And it's with Mike McCarthy and Marcus Freeman. I heard that yesterday. I ran this thing, odds of the Giant coaches now.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought this was really interesting. But I heard that I think that maybe this has changed. Let's see. Odds of the next Giant coach. Yeah. It's so funny you bring this up. Oh, boy, this changed.
Oh,
this changed yesterday. This just changed. Too bad Irish Mike had to go. Marcus Freeman now, as of today, is the betting favorite to be the next New York Giant head coach. He's basically minus 200. Chris Shula for the Rams and McCarthy are up next. Both are 5-1. Shula and Mike McCarthy are tied at 5-1. But the betting odd favorite now is Marcus Freeman to be the New York Giant head coach.
Yep. And then the thing just came across, Bryce Underwood, Michigan quarterback.
Yes, where's he going?
Leaning hard to go into LSU.
Yeah, I figured that. I figured LSU.
Hasn't made that.
I knew.
Definitely.
Lane Kiffin was probably, I bet you Lane Kiffin knew about this earlier than people. I bet you Lane Kiffin was on the phone to him, or somebody from LSU, maybe not Lane himself. Somebody from LSU was calling him.
They like quarterbacks like that.
They do. They love quarterbacks like that.
And
I knew it.
And he could throw the ball.
I knew.
He just doesn't. There's not a. It's not an NFL type of offense.
Well, didn't he leave LSU originally and then go to Michigan? This Underwood, and now he's gonna because
but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he did. But I think he did. But I thought that I had a feeling he was. For some reason I either read it.
We're gonna do a couple more
LSU, he will be. I'm convinced he's not staying there.
No.
I will go on the record. I don't know who they're going to make as head coach. They better do it sooner than later. Mm-hmm. But I have a feeling he didn't probably like how he was being used. Unless they get a really great coach who can persuade that young man, I think he's gone. I think he goes to LSU. Because he's going to go Lane Kiffin. Mm-hmm. And what Lane Kiffin did for Jackson Dart and got Dart in, he sees that, and Lane Kiffin's going to develop him. And quarterback, he's thinking Lane Kiffin will get me an NFL.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Guys are always looking out. So.
Oh, they're all looking at the NFL.
Oh, yeah. That's their goal. So it's going to get interesting.
So, yeah, I mean, I'll have to look this up. Yeah, because, too bad Irish Mike had to go. But right now, Lane Kiffin, and I won't be surprised if he doesn't go. Lane Kiffin doesn't reach out or hasn't already reached out to the quarterback because they're all going to get poached. A lot of those kids on that Michigan team. That's why I'm like waiting for this bowl game, because I don't like to know how many players are left, because I just think this is all. I mean, all those coaches out there now are looking at all those players and they're going after them. They're going to poach that team dry. And until they get a coach, that's why Michigan's got to move. And if they think they need to get rid of that AD up there, that program could be down and out for a while, because the longer you go without a head coach, and if you think you need to move on from that AD, you got to get,
unless they get some kind of word from somebody that's an NFL coach now, but doesn't want to say anything like Jesse Minter or whoever.
Yeah, somebody that's in the NFL that's willing to go there, but then they got to keep the kids there because the kids are going to bolt. And if I was a kid and I was starting at Michigan and I'm getting calls from these other schools, I'm thinking I'm leaving. Mm-hmm. I mean, those kids, because that's what's going to happen. I mean, I think these kids are all, like I said, I think the quarterback's gone. I'll be absolutely shocked if the Michigan quarterback stays there.
Yeah, it's going to be hard. We'll see.
I thought that quarterback. I thought that Bryce Underwood, did he go to LSU originally, committed, and then
I don't know.
We have to look it up. I had thought somewhere I had read where he had originally committed to LSU, but then changed his mind and went to Michigan.
I could see that happen.
And I could see that happening. Now I think he's going to go back to. Now where's he from? I'm looking him up. Did he go to? Is he? Did he play in
I'm not
Florida?
Sure Florida or not. I was thinking that's where.
Detroit. No, he's from Detroit, Michigan.
Okay.
Yeah, he's only 18.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's from Detroit. The only thing that you have going is he decides to stay there because he wants to be close to home. Okay. That could possibly be the only reason why I think he would stay there. But I think if you've got a guy like a Lane Kiffin, I won't be surprised if he doesn't ultimately persuade the young man to go to LSU. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's good. It's going to be a good,
because his numbers were actually pretty good this year. I mean, he had 61% completion. He threw for almost 2,000 yards. He had 7 TDs, 5 interceptions. Not great, but the point is, for a freshman, he was 8-2. He completed 155 passes out of 252 attempts. Played 10 games. So, I mean, it was kind of, and to me, that offense just looked off. I never thought J.J. McCarthy looked good in that offense.
Well, none of their quarterbacks.
No, none of their quarterbacks ever looked good.
I'm always go back. I could go back Brady, all of them.
All of them, no.
It's just the offense they run is not like NFL conducive. It doesn't look like it.
It doesn't.
It's more of let's run the ball.
Right.
and power game,
Right.
and so you don't really see the talents that these guys got. That's why when Brady was like he was, it's like, oh my God, this guy can really throw the football. But they didn't do that when he was there.
He couldn't even. He was fighting for the starting position
for the longest.
For
with the pitcher, the baseball
the
guy.
baseball guy.
Yeah, I mean for the longest. So, that's what I'm saying. You just never know what type of talent they got at the quarterback position. I could see that J.J. McCarthy was a very good athlete and he could throw the football. How accurate he'd be, I don't know.
Drew Henson.
Yeah. I just didn't know how accurate or how good. But you could see he's a good athlete. But you can never look at a Michigan quarterback and say whether he's good or not good. It's always the jury is out and see what pro coach can really get
Drew
them
Henson.
right.
Drew Henson and Brady. I mean, Brady didn't even
was in
start.
Dallas, and they thought he was going to be the guy in Dallas, and no way.
Maybe baseball ruined his career. I don't know what happened to him. He was a good quarterback, and he was better than Brady. People forget this.
Yeah,
people thought.
But I never thought he looked
No, I never thought he was. I just never got.
I mean, he could throw the ball.
Right.
I could see he could throw it, just like Brady. But I never oh, wow, that's the first. I never thought that. But I never could see that at Michigan quarterbacks.
No.
So I always give him a shot. And then Brady just changed my thought process because after I seen what he did, guys got talent. Now let's see what a guy that's, a quarterback coach can really do with him. If you can't fix him, you one of the best, then he just probably don't have it. But J.J. McCarthy is a very good athlete, but how good is he going to be as a quarterback moving forward? I don't know.
I don't know.
He could throw the football and he can run and all that stuff. He's a good athlete.
He's inconsistent right now.
And I thought he would be because that's an offense that's not conducive to NFL type of football.
J.J. McCarthy is inconsistent. I think it's going to take him a while. I'm not saying he's a bust or anything. I'm just saying
it's too early to say
he's hurt. He was all hurt last year. He missed the entire year. He's coming back. He looks spotty. Sometimes he looks good, and sometimes he looks bad.
Yep.
So he's really inconsistent.
You see, sometimes you'd be like, "Oh my God!"
Right,
and then
other times like
he fell off a cliff.
Guys like, what's he doing?
Yep.
So it's kind of debatable where he's going to go. We'll have to wait and see. That's interesting though. That now Marcus Freeman is now the betting favorite to be the New York Giants head football coach.
Yeah, that's something. That is something. But it may happen. We never know what's going to happen in 4 weeks now, 5 weeks. That Monday to come up. We'll see.
It says here,
stuff happens.
Odds-on favorite seen as a strong cultural fit. These are the top candidates. Marcus Freeman, Chris Shula's second, Mike McCarthy, they're both tied. Then Clint Kubiak, offensive coordinator for the Vikings. Mm-hmm. Now, Mike Kafka's in there, but I don't think so. He's dumping too many games. They're not making him head coach. Those fans would go ballistic. I know they want to try to keep continuity, but he's not really I think he's over his head like Dable.
They're going to bring some juice, and I think if they can get Freeman and get him away from Notre Dame, they're going to get him.
I think so.
Because they want juice. This New York City.
They do.
But if they can't get him, then they might have to go to the retreads. Mike
McCarthy, maybe Chris Shula is the D coordinator for the Rams. They like him. Mike McCarthy, for obvious reasons, former Cowboy, always a winner. He
always
wins. Can win games.
He can win.
The OC is Clint Kubiak. They think they might go offensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. And then they've got Kafka in there, who's the interim head coach. And then that Spagnuolo for the – I don't think he's getting it, but they threw his name in there because of as the D coordinator because he was he actually had coached the Giants, was an interim coach for a little bit. I don't think
of the teams that went to the
won the Super Bowl.
So.
Yeah, he was, I believe, the defensive coordinator on those teams that won.
Yeah, against
the Patriots.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So they may go there. But he failed as a head coach. I believe we were seeing Kansas City.
Somewhere.
He went somewhere and didn't do well. I think the Marcus Freeman thing would create a lot of buzz. And I think they're going that direction. They want a young guy, played. He played a little NFL.
Right. Yep.
Good. Very likable. Good with the press. Can handle everything. Doesn't get upset. Doesn't get like Dable was too crazy. Marcus Freeman is the guy because he's low key.
Yeah.
He handles the press.
He's better for nowadays.
Yes.
Dable would have been okay in the 90s.
Yeah, in the 90s. Yeah.
With the Mike Ditka types guys, just go off the handle. They don't care. They was okay with that. Today is more marketable. They try to market everything. So you need to have a guy that's well-spoken at the mic, not doing anything to embarrass the organization and stuff like that. And that's where he would fit in.
Yeah, he went. Spagnuolo went to the Rams. That's where he was. He was with the Rams in 2009 and 2011. No, he wasn't the head coach. He wasn't a D coordinator the second Super Bowl, but he was for that first where they beat the undefeated Patriots.
Okay.
But he wasn't the defensive coordinator
in the second one.
Okay. But he was an interim head coach in 2017. I think he took over for Ben McAdoo. I forget which loser
one
coach.
Of the guys,
or Shermer.
Might have been him.
But anyway, the bottom line is, Spagnuolo's head coaching record is 11-41.
No way.
They're not carting him out. No. They're not gonna do that to the fans. The fans would go
No.
The fan base would go ballistic.
No.
I think the thing
you got to bring in Freeman. If not, then it's McCarthy.
Right.
And if the Shula last name is always great.
That's great. There you go.
Yep.
I think they want to take Freeman in because he's younger, got the energy, he's low key, but he's got a great presence. And I think the guys would respond to him because he's just, to me, he's just kind of the coach. He's so likable, but I think the players would play hard for him.
Right.
McCarthy's a winner. He goes every place he's won. He had a winning record in Dallas.
Yeah. He was a losing coach.
No, he was not. And he had a great record in Dallas and in Green Bay.
Yeah.
So he can coach and he can win games. Now, the only thing in Dallas, he failed in the playoffs, and that's what made Jones mad. But he's a good coach. So I'm a Giant fan. I actually like Marcus Freeman being their head coach because I think that's the kind of coach they need. He's the type of guy that the players I can relate to. He's younger, and he knows, I think, really how he's got the Notre Dame guys playing good, and he's a good manager you have to manage managers. You got to manage coaches when you're a head coach. It's more a head coach is how you relate to your other coaches. And I think Marcus Freeman is good at that part, very good at that, managing his other coaches. And I think he has a good rapport with the players. And if they don't get him, I think they need McCarthy.
Yep.
Now, the only thing is Marcus Freeman may not want to leave Notre Dame.
That's going to be tough to get him from there, I believe. But we'll see, though.
But
I'm sure it's always, he's young. It's not like he wouldn't get another shot. Somebody still be interested a couple years from now.
He's going to be, to me, the whole problem with Notre Dame's going to have is keeping him. Because every year, not only the other colleges want him, but the pro teams want him now.
Yeah.
So he's going to the phone is going to ring every year off the hook constantly saying, we want Marcus Freeman. It's going to be pro jobs.
Yeah. Yep. If he wants to go that way somewhere during his career, he's going to have the opportunity.
He'll have it.
And it might be right now. So we'll see. It's going to be crazy things happening. It always is as we move to Black Monday. So
Black Monday's coming too, man. And I'm afraid now. My concern is I think the coaches that are going to get fired. If I was betting, I could probably put the odds on coaches. I think Raheem Morris is going to get fired. I got a feeling he's out.
Even though he won that game, it was great.
It was a great game.
To keep his guys engaged to be able to win that game.
And I got to give him a lot of credit. And he's a young guy. I think the players like him. But his records aren't good. He's made some mistakes in games. And I don't know. Maybe he can survive it. I think now Todd Bowles is in trouble. I think they're going to fire him.
Well, they always do.
They don't like him down there. They do not like Todd Bowles at all. That fan base, I've said this time and time again. I'm a Giant fan. You know what? If they fire Todd Bowles, I would take Todd Bowles. I'm a Giant fan. I would take Todd Bowles in a New York minute, but I don't know. Again, if he's going to be, but I have a bad feeling Todd Bowles is in trouble.
Yeah.
And I like him. I think he's one of my favorite coaches.
Well, I tell you, if the Panthers win their game this week,
and that's the problem.
Saints, and then they play each other.
Yep.
And he get beat again. I think that,
if he doesn't, I'm afraid that if Tampa Bay doesn't win that division and get in the playoffs,
yeah,
I think Todd Bowles is going to get fired, and I hope
what do
not.
What do you think is going to happen to Stefanski?
I don't know, man. I'll tell you what. Well, we'll talk about it right after break, and then we'll get into our NFL picks. That's a great leadway. We'll talk about that after this timeout. Pal Lucia, Dave Clark, back after this Saturday Morning Sports Page, Western Reserve Radio.
Are you tired of switching apps just to catch your favorite shows and live events? Say hello to the iMedia1 Network app, your one-stop destination for streaming and everything that matters. From national sports to exclusive local content, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast are now all in one place, anytime, anywhere. Download the free iMedia1 Network app on iOS and Android and unlock the future of sports audio in the palm of your hand. The iMedia1 Network, your sports app in the Valley. Village Tavern's been a beloved local landmark in Hubbard, Ohio for nearly a century, and now it's better than ever. Recently renovated and still serving up the same warm hospitality, the Village Tavern is your go-to spot for great food, cold drinks, and a laid-back atmosphere. Whether you're stopping in for dinner, catching up with friends, or just looking to relax, you'll enjoy a full menu of American favorites, rotating drink specials, and friendly service that makes every visit memorable. Be sure to visit the Village Tavern at 746 North Main Street in Hubbard, right next to Repair That Glass. To learn more, go to villagetavern3.com.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
The game is over, but this time, instead of asking how many goals did you score or what were your stats, try asking these questions. Were you a good teammate? Were you coachable? Did you give 100%? And did you have fun? Because those are the values that school sports instill in Ohio's young people, where winning and losing are secondary to the life lessons that will stay with kids long after their playing days are over. This is the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Educate through sports.
Yep.
Saturday Morning Sports Page. Yeah, we were just talking about coaches. Pete Carroll won a Super Bowl and a national title, and Jimmy Johnson. They're the only two.
And they both, their first years as head coaches were terrible.
Oh, terrible.
Jimmy Johnson was 1-15.
Well, Pete Carroll got fired by the Jets.
Yeah.
And then he was to New England, and Pete Carroll had a rough
at first, yeah,
coaching debut, NFL coach.
Yep.
He did not do. I mean, I remember him with the Jets, and I believe he was with the Patriots.
He was.
And he
was
lost.
a little bit better with the Patriots than he was with the Jets.
Right.
And then he went on to be a coordinator. Then he went to USC. And then after he got that and got that energy back, he was great at Seattle.
He was a Jets head coach for 1 year. I believe he went 8-8 in '94.
I didn't even think he made it that good. That's great.
Let me look it up.
For the Jets.
I think. I'm not. Let me look this up. Pete Carroll, then he was a D coordinator. Mm-hmm. Here's what he was. Pete Carroll was the Jet head coach in '94. Then he went to the 49ers as a D coordinator.
Right.
Then he went to New England from 1997 to 1999. Then he was let go. And then he became head coach of USC from 2001 to 2009. Then from there, he went to Seattle, and he was there from 2010 to 2023. He won a Super Bowl there for Seattle. Right. He should have won 2 Super Bowls.
Absolutely.
If you just hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch, you would have had 2 Super Bowls.
Without a question. He was running it
right
over.
They were tired. The New England Patriot defense was spent. They could not tackle him. He was big, strong. Marshawn was just still warming up. And he was running over that Patriot defense, and all they needed to do is hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch. He would have rolled over for the TD. Don't throw the ball like he did have it intercepted. And guess what? Okay, here's Pete Carroll's record. I was wrong with the Jets. He was 6-10. 1 year they fired him.
Right.
97 Patriots, he went 10-6. In 98, he went 9-7. Then he finished up with 8-8, and they fired him.
Yeah.
And then he went to USC. He waited a year and went out to USC in 2001. But he was 27-21 with the Patriots.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. People, when he got fired, people was like,
What did he do?
Yeah, so it must have been some different disagreements within that front office, and because it didn't make any sense. And then he went on to be a very good college coach, and that revamped him. He got back to Seattle.
Did he just not hit it off with Bob Kraft?
I'm wondering, was Kraft the owner the whole time?
Yeah, I think he was.
I don't know why I thought it was somebody else back then, but maybe it was Kraft. I just don't remember it being Kraft back at that time, but it's really hard to remember who was especially the owner. But he was a guy he won there. Now, yes, did it go from 10-6 to 9-7 to 8-8? Yeah, each season he went down one game, but he never had a losing season. So I just
I said here. Oh, okay. Patriot owner Robert Kraft said firing Pete Carroll was one of the toughest decisions he has made since buying the team. A lot of things were going on that made it difficult for him to stay. Okay. Some of which were out of his control. So as it began with a following a legend, his combined NFL record was 33-31 because he followed Parcells. And then he was later considered, then he got the USC job in 2000.
Yep.
But he did. Kraft said it was hard firing him, but he had a good NFL career. Then he should have 2 Super Bowls again.
Yeah.
Again, we
I don't
still
even think about that one.
I don't either.
I was watching that and just my
again
mouth was open. I couldn't believe it.
I thought either hand the ball off
Just
here.
give it to him.
Marshawn will roll it right in the end zone because they couldn't tackle him. And if he didn't get it in one time, he'd definitely get it in another time.
And if you're going to pass
because he was run. Well, then
we
always said if you're going to roll out, don't throw it into the line. Don't roll out. Russell Wilson should have rolled out to see if anybody was in the end zone, and if not,
top of his career then
right,
he could have outran
and he could have run it in
Yeah.
back then because Russell Wilson. You're right.
It was very elusive back this up, man. That was just overthinking.
Well, let's say we talked to Falcons at the Bucks. This is what bothers me with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Thursday game. They were up 28-14, 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they found a way to blow the game. We got that game wrong. We took the Buccaneers and laid the points. We got it. They lost 29-28. I'm afraid that might have cost Todd Bowles his job if they don't win. I have a bad feeling. That Raheem Morris and Todd Bowles are going to be out, among other coaches. The Giants already made. Kafka's not getting that job. I'm sorry, nobody wants him. I'm sorry. He's a coordinator. If he would have won a couple games, I guess he could still win because they have Washington twice. So he does have a chance to win a few more games and make his case. I just don't think they're going that direction. I think they want Marcus Freeman, and that's what it looks like is reported now. Marcus Freeman is the favorite to get the New York Giant job. Yep. You know what, Dave Clark? You think that they're talking to him? I mean, do you think the Giants are back channeling? Because now it's like, that they're talking to him.
Yeah, they're not playing. They don't.
No, they're not playing. They have no game. They're out of. I mean, Notre Dame.
He's getting some kind of.
He's getting people in the Giants want him. I'm convinced.
Yeah.
And they're reaching out to him and they're saying, okay, what are you making? What does it take? We want you as our guy.
Yep.
I have a feeling I think the Giants want him.
Yeah. Well, they want him. This stuff is
No.
Like they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. So it's something going on. They ain't just making up stuff.
No.
They're trying. They're trying. I don't know if they'll get them.
Let's go to the games. I was horrible last week, which is nothing new.
You going to tell me I was okay?
You did okay. You were 8-5-1. You were good. I was 6-7-1. Those damn Eagles. If the Eagles would have won, I would have been 7-6-1. You would have been 9-4-1. But the Eagles put me.
Took them.
We both took the Eagles.
Yep, and they had that game.
Jalen Hurts throwing the ball, the interception at the end.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't going to go for a tie. He wanted to score the touchdown, win the game. I knew that. I mean, he wasn't going to take a tie.
I understood that, but the thing that ball had to be placed a little bit differently because they played them deep and over the top.
He didn't see the
he rolled back in there. And that's what you got to watch out because that could happen.
Yep.
If that receiver don't get across fast, delay it a little bit so he can hold them.
But then that one,
if you go too fast, you can read that and get as a deep in the back.
That's what happened. That's what happened.
Yep, that's what happened.
One cut right in.
Just enough but if he would have took his time going across, he would have never got a chance to get back in that play.
Well, we'll talk about, we won't have time. Let's get to the games. Okay. We'll talk about the coaches are going to lose their job maybe next week, who odds-on favorite is going to lose their job. Anyway, let's go to the Browns at the Bears, 7 and a hook.
Well,
the Browns are getting 7 and a hook. They're out, and it's cold as hell.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the coldest game of the year.
Yes, it is.
And they said it should be around -10. Yeah. They're talking about -10.
Wind chill. Yeah, right now it sits at 10 degrees.
10 degrees. It's supposed to be
with the wind chill, it's going to feel like probably you're right. And the Bengals are next. Their Ravens are playing, and that's 9 degrees. So it's going to be Midwest is going to be brutal. So
stay in the house.
Stay in the house. Watch football. Turn the heat up. And in between, maybe read a book or, I don't know, play Scrabble. But, yeah. Anyway, Browns are at the Bears. 7 and a hook, Dave Clark.
I want to take the Browns. I'm rooting for Shador, but I'm worried about all those injuries they got. Guys are out for the Browns.
Yeah, I know.
Offensive linemen, defensive backs, Denzel Ward, all them guys is out. I'm very concerned. Can they score? But and then the weather.
Yeah,
and
weather.
Deal with the weather too.
Yeah,
I want to keep
that hook.
Shador.
I know.
He should have been playing. Now that I see him now.
Well, now you see. Now that's the other thing.
We kept talking about it though.
I mean, we kept beating the horse. Why don't they play him? Why don't they play Shador? We've been talking about it for how many weeks? They finally play him, and okay, he played good, and now he's starting to play better. And you could see the difference in the team.
Yeah, I mean, they can throw the ball down the field.
I think potentially Cleveland's going to they won't have to worry about the quarterback drafting because they're going to have Shador and have Deshaun be his backup.
That's what I'm saying, because they're going to keep Deshaun.
They got to keep Deshaun because the salary cap, you can't.
You see him in practice, how they showed him in practice? I mean, he was in practice before when he came back. He didn't look really good.
Right.
He does now.
Now he's starting to look good.
Ball, I mean, right on.
Right now he's playing
instead of throwing it in the dirt, and all the different. I think they actually will be set.
Yeah, I think they are. I think you're going to keep
and use them draft picks on the areas
and
you need to get it right.
Get it right, and keep Shador as your guy, and keep Deshaun, and he can compete for the job.
And see, people don't want Deshaun playing. But if you put all
you're
that money
paying
in
him,
you gotta
might as well play him.
Yeah, you got to.
If he wins it over Shador, but I keep Shador because he's on that. I keep telling my buddy he's got a 5th round contract. He's a deal. If Shador is your starter, you got a deal because he's getting 5th round money. You got to keep Shador, man, because that's basically absorbing Deshaun's contract.
Yep.
So Shador stays. People are going to get rid of him. No, they're not getting rid of him. If Shador starts to play this good, they're keeping him.
Yeah.
And even if
they should.
Well, they have to keep him
They
because
they just do dumb things. So it makes me wonder.
I don't know.
But when you look at it logically, they should. There should be no way they let them go.
So what do you think?
I'll just take the Browns.
Me
You know
too.
what?
I
I'm
put
just
them
gonna take
on because my picks are in the crapper anyway.
These are gonna be easy. You can go.
Anyway.
I ain't looking up those.
Let's look at
about.
the Ravens at the Bengals. Another game in the cold. Ravens lost last week on a touchdown that wasn't called. That was a touchdown they lost. That touchdown that was a touchdown. The one that they ruled something about the 3rd foot. Bag that. He had 2 hands. Ball across the plane, 2 feet down.
Lively.
Yeah, Lively.
Yeah, come on.
That's a touchdown.
He's holding the ball out like this, running with it. It's not good.
Stop.
Come on, man.
That's a touchdown. And they win the game. If that touchdown counts, the Ravens win that game.
Right. Yeah.
And now they're 6-7. They're at the Bengals. It's 4-9, and Joe Burrow is not happy. And Joe Burrow sounds like
he don't even want to play.
He don't play anymore.
What? Who gets the points in this crap?
All right, -2.5. The Bengals are getting points at home, 2.5.
I'm gonna take the Bengals.
9 degrees.
I just take them. It's cold. I'm gonna take their.
Me too. I'll take Bengals too. I don't care.
Man.
The Bolts at the Chiefs. The San Diego Chargers, we still call them that, at the Chiefs, -6 points. The Bolts are getting -6 points. It's 17 degrees there.
Who's getting the points? The Chiefs?
The Chargers get the points.
Oh, the Chargers.
Chargers are getting 6 points on the road in Kansas City, 1:00 game.
I mean,
which is 12 o'clock.
So I would usually say, yeah, but I'm gonna take the Chiefs. Man, it's hard, but they come in there. It's cold. They coming from. And they don't be consistent enough for me to charge.
Yeah, Chargers are coming off a big Monday night win, and usually that means basically a hangover. Yeah, I'll take the Chiefs too. Let's go to the Bills at the Patriots. And the Patriots are getting 1.5 points at home, but it's 32. It's going to be 32 degrees and snowy. Rainy and snow. Looks like snow.
I'm going to go on the limb, and I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills because I just think they're going to split. So that's the only reason.
Yeah, I'll do that way. Washington are at the Giants, 30 degrees and cloudy, so no weather issues. The Giants lay -2.5 to Washington. Washington lost to the Vikings last week, 31-0. The Giants are coming off a bye. The last time they played, they didn't play. They got absolutely boat raced by the Patriots, 33-15 on Monday night. Bad Monday night game. The Giants don't show up. Right now, the Giants have the number 1 pick in the draft as of today. They control the number 1 pick. So I don't know what that means. Does it mean
What's
that
their record?
2-11?
The same as the Raiders.
Yeah. And I guess they would get the pick over the Raiders for whatever the tiebreaker. It's probably an ACC tiebreaker.
I'm gonna take the. Oh God, I don't know.
Boy, this is a.
I'll take the Giants.
Yeah, me too. I'll take Dart's playing.
Yeah, give me the Giants.
Raiders are at the Eagles, 12.5 points. Dave Clark.
Yeah, and my family played a trick on me to tell me. I told you I was going to the game. I said, "Oh, they're not." And here my brother said, "We're still going today. You know that we're going to." He sends the text message. I had my stuff already, but okay. This
27 degrees tomorrow. You got sitting out in 27-degree weather.
Yeah, we'll see how
it's going to be cloudy. Doesn't look like precipitation, so bundle up if you're going.
12 and a
12 and a hook.
Okay, I'm taking Kenny Pickett in the hook because I'm thinking he's going to play well. And I still think the Eagles going to. If they lose here, I already know they got problems. They got a super problem.
I'm going totally off the rail. I'm taking the Raiders because I like the 12 and a hook. I think
that's what I took.
You took the Raiders?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. You said that's right. Mm-hmm. You took Raiders too. Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. I had a brain freeze. I thought Kenny Pickett. You're right.
Yeah.
I'll take. Okay. The Jets are at the Jags. This is 13.5 points.
Wow.
The Jags are laying 13.5 to the Jets.
I don't want to really do this because Jacksonville don't play right, but they don't got neither one of their quarterbacks. You know,
the Jets know they're playing
Fields
with
is
the
out and Tyrod Taylor.
They're playing with a guy off the practice squad.
Right, yes, I forgot.
I got to look up his name.
Whoever his name is, but I'm taking the Jags.
Me too.
Yep.
God, they got to.
It's going to be
They
Brees
can't-
Hall's show, and he's going to have to run and do everything, and it's going to be tough.
No,
on
it's
him.
not going to be good. Cardinals are at the Texans,
This could be brutal.
minus 9.5.
Wow.
The Cardinals get 9.5 in Texas.
Well, you know what? I'm going to go on a limb there. I still think Texas is going to win, but I'm going to take Arizona because they have a tendency to know
They
how to
do.
score some kind of points, even though they got blown out last week against the Rams. But you're talking about a whole different offensive system with the Rams. So
I'm going Texans, and the only reason why is their defense is just absolutely suffocating, and I just think that.
yeah, I do too.
And I think they'll score, and I just don't, and they're in Texas. It's going to be dome and fine weather, no problem. But I just think the Texans right now are on a roll. Stroud looks really good now. The team's better protection, and that defense is just—they're just basically slamming people down. Let's go to the Packers or at the Broncos.
Oh,
4 o'clock, 4:25. Actually, the Broncos get 2.5 points at home.
yeah, give me the Bronx at home.
And get the points.
Yeah, I take the points. I'm gonna try it out.
All right.
Packers is playing good. I'm telling you, if Jordan Love is playing, you in bad trouble. He's playing good.
Yeah, I know. I'll take the Packers and lay the points. I think you're right. Lions are at the Rams, minus 6.
Good.
The Lions are getting 6 points at the Rams. That's another 425 game. You got
I'm
two.
taking.
These 425 games, you got one on Fox and then one on CBS. Packers and Broncos, CBS. Fox has the Lions and Rams.
That was a good game. I'm taking the Lions.
Minus 6, yeah.
Yep.
And those points.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this.
Can they keep it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking they could.
Can they keep it to 3? See, I'm thinking 3 points.
Mm-hmm. I think the Rams should win, but I think the Lions getting 6. I think they can hang in there.
I'll take the Lions. Panthers are at the Saints. Panthers get lay 2.5. So the Saints are getting 2.5 points.
They play good at home too, but Carolina got to be juiced, man.
They're coming off a bye.
They're coming off a bye, and then you just watch.
And they beat the Rams. Last time they played, they
Yeah.
beat the Rams.
And then you just watch Tampa Bay lose.
And they beat the Buccaneers.
And-
yeah,
right.
yeah,
And you just seen
yeah.
them
You
lose.
watched right. You saw that's another. Yeah, Tampa Bay lost to the Saints last week, and they turned around and lost to the Falcons.
And now you
now
can be sole possession if
yeah,
you win.
you
this
win.
game. So I'm taking them.
Yeah.
I'm taking them. They should be ready to go, fired up. Win by 3.
Yeah,
that's all we need.
yeah. That's kind of what. Yeah, I can never figure. You know what?
It's hard to figure it out. I'm telling you, Saints, they compete though.
I like the 2.5. I'll take the Saints
Yep,
at home.
They compete. I can't. Blame
I don't
that
know.
pick.
The Titans are at the
49ers.
49ers minus 12.5.
I'm taking them.
I got to take the Niners.
Yep, I'm giving up the points.
They
played great offense last week against a great defense.
You know what? I'm
they're not gonna
changing
do it
that.
again.
I'm going Panthers. Oh, I'm not taking the Saints. Panthers are playing. I went back and changed the low. Okay, let's move on. Colts are at the Seahawks minus 13.5. Phillip Rivers is going to Seattle. It's going to be 56
did they say he's
degrees.
starting?
I
mean, it'd be nice, but I'm going Seattle.
I'm taking the Seahawks anyway.
I'ma
I'll
give
lay
up
the
these
points.
I'm gonna try it.
Seahawks defense is unbelievable. I can't go with
NFL teams should be appalled when you up to that many points. You getting that many points? That's they come out and be running a fight. But Seattle should be. They good.
I take Seattle's defense.
Yeah.
Let's go Vikings at the Cowboys. Minus 5.5. So the Cowboys lay 5.5. They're in it. I mean, the Cowboys are in the race, especially with Philadelphia. It's not. I mean,
No,
if Philadelphia, this is in Dallas Sunday night. I got to go with the Cowboys again. I don't like it. I don't trust them.
I'm either, but they're at home.
But they're at home, and they know if they win this game, and I mean,
gotta make them 7-6-1 if they can win this. And
if they win out, they would go 9. They would go 10-6-1 if they went out.
If they went out, yeah.
And Philadelphia's fallen off. They keep saying people in Philadelphia, believe me, they're calling up like Mad Dog Russo, one guy called in and said, this is 2023 all over, where they just fell off the.
But it's different to me. It don't look the same. When they
No.
fell off in 23.
No, they really
the
fell.
Whole team
yeah, the whole team just fell
horrible.
off.
It was like,
yeah.
This is the worst.
They
team
just, yeah.
It's not like
not quite like
good,
that. But they just
make
can't.
big mistakes.
Yeah, bad
They can't
mistakes.
score. Yeah. Can't run. Can't do that.
The final is our Miami, the Dolphins.
They playing Pittsburgh, aren't they?
They're in Pittsburgh, -3. Dallas, the Finns are getting 3 points. And it's going to be 22 degrees. It's going to be cold.
I'm taking Pittsburgh only because it's cold. It's hard to take them, though. I'm going to be honest with you because Miami's been playing really hard and really good, but will they in this cold weather? I don't know.
I'm going to take the Finns.
Okay.
They won in the crappy weather last week.
They did.
They blew the Jets away.
Oh, they did. They played
I
good.
just think they like the coach. He's staying now. McDaniel is staying.
Yeah, you talking about a team that's
And-
spot for him. They
And
playing
because
good.
Tua can't go anywhere because of the salary situation. And he gets the best out of Tua.
Well, I think they went back to the old time football.
yeah,
Run the ball.
run the ball.
with A-chain,
And-
and they bring in the other guys to run too, and just run.
And it's running. And I think that
play action with
they're 6
Tua.
and 7,
Yeah, I
the
know.
Finns. And they're playing good, and they're actually playing pretty good ball now.
Yes, they are. The only reason I'm taking Pittsburgh because it's cold. That's my only. I don't have no other explanation. Because Miami, I think, can play right with
Miami has won 4 in a row. They beat Buffalo, Washington, New Orleans, and the Jets.
Okay.
And they got Monday night. They've got the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. You're right. I'm almost leaning toward Pittsburgh because I can't ever get them right.
Yeah, I don't know what
They won last week, and knowing the way Pittsburgh plays, they don't play 2 games back to back, so they're going to have a down game.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
And that's why I'm picking Miami, but the weather bothers me because it is cold.
That's the only reason.
But the way Miami played last week in New York, it was 40.
They didn't act like it was.
They didn't
6
care.
or
They
7.
played. They looked good.
Yep.
And they're playing good. And the Steelers got lucky last week. They got that call that was a touchdown.
Oh, that was a touchdown.
They lose that game and they're going to win. But I have a bad feeling that I think that this division is going to be 9-8. The winner will be a 9-8, and it'll either now be Pittsburgh or Baltimore. Now, I mean, Cincinnati technically has a remote shot, but they talked about it. I think the way Cincinnati would have, they would have Baltimore to go 1-3 and Pittsburgh 0-4. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. No, they're done.
So I think Cincinnati's done, and it's going to be a flip between
those two.
And Pittsburgh just doesn't play consistent enough.
Just like Carolina and Tampa Bay.
Right, same thing.
It's going to be just down to the wire.
It's going to be down to the wire, and it's going to come down. And I'm afraid that in Tampa Bay, I really think Todd Bowles' job, if he loses that division, because he blamed the players. They interviewed him, and he blamed the players this past. They played the tape. Every other word was a bad word, because it was like beep, 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 because they were listening. I was listening to Todd Bowles on the show, and they were on Brady Quinn and LeVar and Jonas Knoxley played the tape.
He was upset with the players.
He's upset with the players, and it goes. LeVar goes, I don't know what he said because it was beep, 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 beep every other word. I go, yeah, I didn't hear him. I don't know what he said either. But he basically blamed the players for not executing and not playing. He said, we did our end, and I'm thinking that doesn't sound good.
No.
When the coaches start to lay it on the players,
yeah.
It's not good.
He's aggravated.
He's aggravated.
No question about it.
And
it is.
It is. I don't blame him because
I don't know what Baker Mayfield.
I don't know what the hell Baker that threw that interception. Where was he looking? They were up by 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, and they blew that game.
And he did that, but then again, let's flip it on the other side. Why are you throwing it?
Right.
Run the clock.
Run the clock. You're 2 touchdowns.
So now who is that on? That ain't on Baker. That's on the coach.
That's on the coach.
So that's why you should just take blame of it as a unit.
You never blame the players.
We just did this. So, yeah.
You
know what? He might be feeling that, as they say, that tightening screws are tightening.
I think he's.
And I think he knows what's on the line.
If he doesn't win that division and they don't get into the playoffs.
Now, let's see how these guys take. If they took this the wrong way, they fall out of favor with him, he's done.
He's done.
They'll be losing every game after.
They're done, and they got to win, and they got to hope Carolina loses.
Yep.
And this weekend, that Saints game is a big game. And I got a feeling the Saints are going to win that game, but I switched it because I just think the Panthers are coming off the bye.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
I still think, oh, boy.
All right, we'll see.
Well, maybe Marcus Freeman will be the New York Giant head coach at the end of the year.
Irish Mike don't want to hear that.
Irish Mike don't want to hear that. Neither does a couple of my other friends. They don't want to hear that. They finally got the guy they like. Yeah. They hate it. They didn't like Kelly. They like the guy, but Giant fans are just going to be wondering. Okay. Right. Everybody have a great, a safe week. Do not drink and do not drive. Stay safe. Saturday Morning Sports Page, Pat Lucia, Dave Clark on Western Reserve Radio.
Someone's got to set the tone out there, boys. Someone's got to set it.
The station that sets the tone for Youngstown Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio. WRTB, The Scourge.
Yes, indeed. Welcome in.